get that going. Let's get that going. There we go. There we go. Put out the notification. We're live, baby. We live. Travis, what's going on? What's going on? James, it's happening. Remain calm. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Let's try that here. There we go. There it is. There it is. Maybe my ugly mug doesn't need to be so big. Maybe it doesn't need to be so big. Let's make me a little smaller here. Let's make me a little smaller here. There, let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, Travis, I'm excited too, man. I am excited too. This is gonna be... It's happening. It's happening. It's not a drill. We know for sure. It's coming now. The long awaited days and months of hoping, and the announcement I think came out, geesh, like back in May, and we're finally doing it. We're finally doing it. It's super exciting. Split, how's it going? Good to see you as always. James, yeah, no, it's hard to put it into words, honestly. I woke up this morning. I was a degenerate, stayed up a little too late last night, so woke up about half an hour before the drop and saw that it was a couple of people were just sharing it around. I don't even think ECOMI had made an official post about it yet on Twitter, but some people I guess had found it based on the Medium article that had been posted on the Telegram, and it's exciting to say the least, for sure. So. Uh-oh, we got some sweats in this lobby. Level 434, level 285. That's not what I signed up for. Oh my god, I don't know if you can hear that game audio, but that can't be happening. Jeez Louise. James, hopefully it'll be an easy process. Yeah, I honestly think that it will. I think that they recognize that there's a lot of people that aren't native to crypto, and understand that crypto might be their very first, or ECOMI may be their very first investment. So I can't imagine it will be a terribly painful process. I think that over time they will make it a little bit easier. But really only time will tell. I think they're going to obviously release a lot of documentation and information every step of the way, and I think obviously myself and a lot of other content creators in the community will be making posts and putting out information relating to the migration. So I would anticipate a lot of information. I honestly, I think the biggest decision is going to be whether or not you move your tokens over to the application, so the VEVE app itself, or whether you're going to move your tokens over to... Okay, I gotta mute this guy. Give me a second here. How do I mute? I don't even know how to mute. Options? No. What? Give me a second here. We gotta mute these guys. I can't have a conversation while this is happening. Someone tell me how to mute. Who plays Call of Duty?
Gas is approaching your position. Move to the safe zone.
Team scoreboard, maybe? Oh, there we go. We'll mute our teammates.
That's where we're dropping.
Oh, they already dropped. I'm not even paying attention. James says end of year... 2 cents. I think at the very minimum, it'll be 2 cents. I think it really depends on the information that's released at the end of this week about the OMI utility program as well as the Master Collector program. I think if they offer a lot of rewards and incentives, especially, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but on the OMI utility side, I think if they release a lot of information about that, we will see a pretty significant pump, because what you have to remember is that people will be locking up their liquidity to get rewards, and what those rewards are, hopefully we're going to find out by the end of this week. So I would imagine that as more and more tokens get locked up, and remember that once that article is released, I will work on mapping it out, and once we see the actual numbers, we'll be able to more rationally kind of surmise what we could be hitting and what we might not be as realistic. And then it's really honestly just going to come down to, what do the whales do? Are the whales still manipulating the price? Is that even a possibility? Now that we're on Immutable and we're on Ethereum, are whales going to be able to manipulate the price? Or is all of the positive buy pressure going to kind of circumvent that entirely? So that will be yet to be seen. Only time will tell about that. But I know for certain I'm not selling anytime soon. And I very much look forward to the value cost proposition of being able to stake and all the rewards that we'll earn along with it. Mehdi, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. I've stopped console gaming. I play sometimes Call of Duty Mobile pretty good. I downloaded Call of Duty Mobile and was playing it quite a bit, but I was getting like, and I don't know how it works with skill-based matchmaking or what, but I was getting like all the kills every single game. So it felt like I wasn't even playing against real people. It felt very much like I was playing against bots. And I don't know. I just didn't really see the purpose in it, but I mean, definitely a lot of fun. I think a lot of mobile games are fairly addictive. And I enjoy playing them. I enjoy playing this game too. I'm actually playing on controller right now. Oh, this is a problem.
Hey, you're fucking dog shit.
Not as much of a problem now. Sorry if you guys can hear the swearing through the screen, by the way. This game has near-field communication, so like when someone gets killed or whatever, you can hear them. So, does this guy have an SMG? No, he didn't. Where's this guy at? Oh, okay. Questionable behavior. Thank you so much for the 10 views, guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad everyone's kind of hanging out and enjoying. Just so that you guys do know, and I'll mention it a couple times throughout the stream, I am going to be putting on a Call of Duty style stream tournament with a bunch of content creators. So I've spoken to some content creators, Taps Trades, Daniel Lee, Cavell Anderson has expressed being interested as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there's a person over here. I think my teammates are losing my mind. Oh, there was a person here. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously the community is welcome to join as well. We're going to do Call of Duty Warzone because it allows lobbies of up to 150 people. So we can make sure as many people are involved. And it's about the community, right? So it's not, you know, just content creators or just whatever. Like, you guys can hit me up on YouTube, hit me up on my Twitter at OG_OMI_homie. Don't judge me. And let me know if you're interested in participating. It'll be hopefully the 3rd week of October. Also looking at getting some members of the ECOMI team involved. I've spoken to Reese. I think that we're going to try and get Trevor involved because he's a gamer, and I think that would be a lot of fun. And like I said, if anyone is interested in participating as well, just let me know. Travis, will we sending our OMI tokens to the VV app be the best way? Travis, I think that's a relative question. I don't know that best is the correct answer for the sole fact that, like, best in what regard? Will it be one of the easier options? I think so. I think using the token swap site will probably be the most cost prohibitive option because it's going to be directly transferring to layer 1 on Ethereum. So like you're probably looking at paying whatever ETH gas fees are, so like $10 to $20 kind of thing. Transferring over to the VEVE app will be very straightforward, I think. So I don't anticipate that being an issue. And then doing it on an exchange, it might be done automatically as well. So there's definitely a lot of easy ways to go about doing it. And then there's obviously some more, maybe more expensive ways. But I don't know that easy versus hard is what I would say. I would say that it's not that it's easy versus hard. It's simply whatever makes the most sense for you. And it might not make sense to do one over the other for you. So, and that'll be a decision, and we're going to die to zone because I've been talking too much. Is there a vehicle? There is a vehicle. So yeah, so it's entirely up to your preference, what you believe will be the best option. So, oh, I'm gonna die here. If I'm going down fighting. Yeah, so it's entirely up to your preference. I think for my purposes, and I'll pull up after this game, I'll pull up the Immutable X migration information that's been released.
Time to earn your freedom, soldier.
Oh, it's a burst fire weapon. Yeah, we'll pull up after this game. We'll pull up the Immutable X migration rollout, the initial information that they've released. I do want to emphasize for anyone that's watching right now, or even if you're watching back after the fact, just remember that only use the official information that ECOMI is putting out. I know so many people are going to just get railroaded because someone shares a link on social media, they think it looks legitimate, and they're going to send their tokens over to this token swap. Guys, don't do it. Like, wait until ECOMI releases the official information, and then we're good. Like do that, okay? So, now that game's over, let's pull up. No, it's not display capture. It is. Oh yeah, it is display capture. Never mind. Sure. No, it's not display capture. Yeah, we're gonna pull up the article right now, and we're gonna talk about it. So let's pull up. Sure, we can pull that up. We can pull that up. Did that work the way I wanted it to? Yeah, it did. Perfect. It did. It did. It did. Let us pull this out over here so I can see what you guys are saying. Welcome to everyone that's in the chat right now. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me today. So we're just going to go over the article that's been released and play some games at the same time. So kind of do a little bit of balances both. Like I said, this is something that I've been aiming to do to kind of switch up the type of streams that you guys are seeing. I mean, obviously Daniel Lee is great with the way that he does it. Randy Chavez does his own thing as well. I love video gaming. I'm on my computer anyways. I'm hanging out and vibing, so I figured why not do this as well. So Waldo, oh wowzers, this is exciting, momentous day for sure. You know what? I think we're gonna have a lot of quote unquote momentous days over the next couple weeks, months, and even years. There's honestly going to be so many positive catalysts moving forward. So it's just incredible. So as you guys can see, this is the Medium article that ECOMI released earlier today. It's not too long, so we'll review it, and then we'll go back, answer some questions, anyone that has any questions. Kyle, what's going on, brother? You're the one that inspired me to do this stream today. Your message, I appreciated it, so thank you. I figured if anyone was curious, I'd hop on and we could have a conversation about it, so thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate that. So yeah, so this is the Medium article. I won't read all of it, but obviously we'll set the context of what we're looking at here. So over the coming weeks, so we have a time frame, right? So we know it's going to take a few weeks, if not a month. We will begin migrating VeVe and the wider ECOMI ecosystem to Ethereum Layer 2 via Immutable X. This migration will take place in 3 phases. It is important to note that there are no user requirements until phase 3, which is when the OMI token swap facilities will be open. So this is what I want to emphasize, right? So it's a multi-pronged process, and we don't have to do anything until layer 3. You're going to start to see people popping up in socials saying, hey, send your tokens to this site. The swap is now live. Here you go. Don't do it. Go onto Twitter, type in ECOMI, go into their official Discord or Telegram. Guys, honestly, like, don't even trust. Like, if I'm putting out information, I'm putting it out saying, go to these sources. Don't listen to anyone on YouTube unless it's like Alex or Reese or whatever, and they're on a channel talking about it. Then listen, but don't. This is your money, guys. So make sure. I know a lot of people have a lot of money invested in the project. Like, only use official sources because people inevitably, ECOMI will say it 100 times, people are still going to get burned. Like, let's not let it happen, okay? So 3 prongs. We don't have to do anything until prong 3. So we're probably talking at least a couple weeks, okay? But what do prong 1 and 2 look like? So, once again, you must ensure that you're using the correct and official links. I want to emphasize that a million times. If you don't hold any OMI tokens, so if any of you are here following me right now, you're just big on the VeVe app and collectibles, solid, that's awesome, good investment as well. You don't need to do anything, okay? User wallet registration is the phase 1. That's the phase that they've already started. If you go on to Ethereum scan and type in VeVe, you will probably start to see some activity. Maybe we'll review that in a little bit. But that's when we're going to start to see all of our collectibles for all of the people that were concerned and said that it wasn't going to happen. Our collectibles are going to be officially minted on the blockchain via layer 2 on Ethereum, okay? You will be able to look up a collectible and see the entire history of anyone that owned it at any time. There's going to be no doubts anymore. And you're going to start to see a huge push from mainstream social media content creators that have been covering NFTs. You're about to see, in my opinion, OMI and VeVe just absolutely blow up. Not necessarily in price, but in exposure, which in turn should likely lead to an increase in price. But there's going to be so many people talking about this project. It's going to be absolutely nutty. I absolutely can't wait for it. So there's no input that we need to do at this point, okay? So remember that there's absolutely nothing we need to do. All that they're doing is migrating everything over to layer 2. That's step 1. Cool. Second phase, NFT minting. So this is the first week of October. So they're saying the first week, moving over the wallets, the accounts, that's this week. Next week, that is when we'll start to see the reminting of all the existing assets. So remember, reminting. So what they're confirming for you is that we were already minted as collectibles on the Go chain, and now they're taking that mint and they're moving it over and swapping it onto the Ethereum blockchain. I know a lot of people had some doubts about this, or there was some confusion. No, they're not real NFTs because we can't view them on the blockchain. They were accessible, and as a perfect example, Omi the Clown, who created a ECOMI wiki, who I very much recommend that you guys check out. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'll pull it up quickly right now because it's an absolutely awesome website. This website basically allows you to make gives you a marketplace floor, and you can do a portfolio calculator. So you can actually add in all the collectibles that you own, and then based on the floor of those collectibles, you can see how much they're worth right now if you were to sell them. And that's why when I released a tweet a couple days ago and I said, hey, my collectible's worth about $40,000, I used this in order to determine that. And of course, that doesn't take into account mint numbers or anything like that. So obviously, I have some decent mints on some of my collectibles. So my collection is worth at least what the floor would be worth. So definitely check that out. So once again, he had the API access from ECOMI, which is why he was able to find all of these. So like Mint 157 was sold at like he has access to the backend API. So that's how we know that they're real NFTs, because you wouldn't have the API for the mint on the blockchain if they weren't. The difference is they just weren't releasing it openly to the public. I think it probably had something to do with the load that the Go chain could use, and it wasn't as user friendly. But now that we'll be on Ethereum, all of that information, you'll just be able to type it in on Etherscan, and you'll be able to see your collectible or any collectible that you're looking to purchase. You'll be able to see who owned it previously, what it was owned for, what it was sold for. Very similar to how OpenSea works. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic. So this NFT minting should start the first week of October. They also indicate that it'll include heavy testing of all purchasing and transfer function to ensure that the minting of new NFTs and all necessary purchase sale transactions are taking place successfully on layer 2. I would expect at some point to see the application go down intermittently throughout the next couple of weeks. Don't be surprised if this happens. Yes, it sucks because I know a lot of us love to spend 24/7 on the VeVe app, but we also have to be realistic and understand that this is hugely benefiting us as VeVe and OMI token holders. So let's try and give the team a little bit of a chance to kind of work through whatever issues are happening and give them the benefit of the doubt, okay? So Phase 3 is the phase that we all really need to focus on, because that's the only thing that at any point we're going to need to do anything about. And once again, this is the phase that you're most likely to get ripped off on, and that people are able to manipulate the process because they will open up token swaps or they will request information pretending to be so-and-so. Only get this information from official channels. So in this instance, we can see that this is the ECOMI Medium article. This is an official source. That's where you're looking to get it from, okay? So, phase 3. If you currently hold Go OMI tokens or the wrapped version ETH OMI, that would be if you used Sushi Swap or whatever it's called, one of those weird swaps, you'll be able to swap to the new ETH OMI during phase 3. I would imagine that we will see this roll out second to third week of October, assuming that there's no delays, okay? There will be 3 options available to you during this time. And this is something that I think, James, we were discussing a little bit earlier in the chat. This is the thing that you're going to want to make a decision for yourselves, okay? So if you currently hold Go OMI or Wrapped OMI, there'll be 3 options available to you, allowing you to either swap your existing tokens to Layer 1 OMI for trading on exchanges. So Layer 1 will be like if you want to put it on Bit4x, you want to put it on OKX, you want to put it on Gate.io as an actual like Ethereum backed token, okay? That's if you want to sell your tokens or hold them on an exchange to dollar cost average or do whatever, okay? Layer 2 OMI will be for use within the VeVe app. The Layer 2 OMI will likely be what is used for OMI to NFT, OMI to land, and OMI staking. Those are the 3 major ones I see that being used for, okay? So you'll have to make a decision. And there might not be a right or wrong answer for you at the time, but if you transfer it all to Layer 1, it will probably be more expensive than if you go to Layer 2, because Layer 2, not really any gas fees. Layer 1 is like if you're doing a transfer on the Ethereum network. It's not as expensive as doing an NFT, but it's obviously, you might be looking at 10 or 20 bucks or something like that, I would guess. In high traffic times, it could be up to $50 to transfer. So you have to make that decision for yourself. Is that a cost you're willing to incur just so that you're on on the exchange directly? Or would you just rather transfer it all to Layer 2 with the understanding that at some point, if you want to sell it, you'll likely have to transfer back to Layer 1, unless once the MTL rolls out on the application, you can convert OMI into fiat on the VeVe app, in which case maybe you don't pay any fees at all. I'm not sure about that yet. They haven't released any documentation. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but those will be the major 3 options. So as we can see, VeVe app, it's done automatically. Exchanges, done automatically. The token swap site will be manual. So this will be a site that they provide that you can go on and transfer your tokens from Go to ETH. This will be the one that concerns me the most, because this will be the one that fake sites are floating around for. Like, people will provide a link. Hey, you should log on to this. This is, whatever. Don't don't use this if you have any reservations or concerns. Transfer it directly to an exchange that you already have a web wallet on. Transfer it to the VeVe app, and the token will automatically be swapped for you. I personally still have my tokens on the exchange, so I imagine as they roll this out, my tokens may actually be migrated automatically. I'll just wake up one day and they'll still be there the exact same amount, but in the back end, they will have been transferred. So, I also like this as well. So originally they had said that the token swap may only be live for up to 12 months. Now they're saying the token swap site will likely be available indefinitely, which I think is really good for people that maybe are out of touch and don't check their investment that often, or, you know, God forbid you had a loved one who held the token that passed away and you don't find out about it for a while, and then, oh my gosh, they had all of this, you know, OMI that could have made me, a millionaire, and it disappeared because we didn't get the transfer done in time. So you'll have ample time to swap your tokens. There's no need to rush. It also says that there's new features in the web wallet allowing you to deposit your tokens to layer 2 or withdraw them to layer 1. So the web wallet, as we know, if you go to omi.vv.me, you can log into your web wallet, send gems. You have access to your QR code. You can do it on Android, but you can't do it on iPhone, which is why a lot of people that run iPhone OS have to use the web app. So it's good to know. So once Phase 3 is complete, all existing in-app GoChain OMI transactions will cease. All VeVe will be underpinned by ERC20, which is the Ethereum standard, OMI via Immutable X's Layer 2s. Once again, and they say it 4 times in this article, only use the official links, right, guys? So let's make sure that we're doing that. How long will each phase take? I think that's a big thing that all of us are interested in. We want to see success. We want to see it now, especially once the OMI token is moved over, because once the OMI token is moved over, we'll be able to see exchange listings. And from my understanding, there's already some exchange listings lined up. So it would be super exciting to see us move over to Immutable, officially have the OMI token as an ERC20 standard, and then just see, 1, 2, even 3 exchange listings, bing, 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 right as we're kind of hitting this last phase of the bull run, and just catapult OMI and VeVe right to the forefront of everyone's minds. So once again, I want to emphasize, they say that their intention is to complete the final phase of migration in October. We all love Dan, we all love ECOMI, but we know that they're not the best when it comes to providing time frames. So what I would say is, let's hope that it's done by October, but let's assume that it'll be finished by sometime in November. And that way, if it's done in October, great. And if there's any quote-unquote delays, we're not stressing out about it, okay? Final thing, how will I know what to do? They just reemphasize, we're going to give you all of the information. They're going to make tons of posts. Any information will be coming out. Don't worry about it. You don't need to hound them about it right now. They'll be releasing tons of Medium articles, tons of informations and AMAs and various socials. We're going to get this information, and it's going to be a very, very fantastic time. So I'm very excited about this. I know a lot of you are very excited about it. So it's going to be nuts. James, with the VeVe drops being sold out in literally a second, do you think it could hinder potential users joining up? It's so difficult to get anything. Yes. I agree with you. I think it is difficult. I've had quite a bit of family join the app over the last month or so. My mother, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, my wife has been with me for a while now doing it. I'm onboarding new friends, work colleagues. I think as we start to see more and more people onboard onto the app, you will see higher mint numbers, so more additions, especially when it comes to the commons. And you will start to see people run into buyer's exhaustion, where they're going to be releasing so much content that people just don't have enough money to keep up with it. So it's going to really start to become, people are going to focus on the fandom or interests that they have and that they like. And I still think that the whole gem concept is absolutely brilliant, because I think even people that are non-native to crypto that download the app that are like obsessed with whatever they see, they will still buy the commons and uncommons in the secondary market. And then I think for some of the more higher priced, higher ticket items, once we see OMI to NFT and the ETH whales come in, we'll have a whole other subset. So I don't see people getting priced out or giving up on getting into the app. What I see is that newbies will not be able to get the rarest of collectibles because they won't know the tricks. They're not running multiple devices. They don't understand all of those processes, but they'll still want to get the common of whatever, like, because it's still interesting and it's still exciting. And then they'll still hop onto the secondary market and they'll still find items, because you have to remember our normal for prices at the floor is not the same that it will be in a month, 2 months, 6 months. Like, as the floor goes up, as new people come, the floor to them is just what the floor always was because they don't know any different. So I think as more people come into the space, more money will come into the space. Yes, there could be some concerns with onboarding people, but at the same time, it will eventually get to the point where there's so much drops and so much content that people will just, they'll buy. Like, let's be honest, like, this is awesome, and there's so many different fandoms that you're going to find something that you like, and if you can't get into the primary market, you're going to buy it in the secondary market. How many people do we see in the app right now that are on Twitter? Hey guys, I'm going to sit this drop out, not really my cup of tea. And then after the drop, hey, yeah, I actually participated in the drop. Like, it's addicting. It's crazy addictive, and yeah, you're 100% going to see some people struggle and maybe not as on board as well. But you also have to remember, once the VeVe-verse comes out, once the land comes out, who knows? They might release like an unlimited avatar that's like a common, so that everyone can still feel welcome in the VeVe-verse and have an avatar. Everyone will still have a showroom in the ether that people can visit and whatever. So there'll always be ways to engage. Like I don't think that when they release cheaper brands like Tokidoki, Mermacornos that are like $10 to start, I don't think people are ever going to get priced out of those markets. There will be some collectibles. Like, I don't think there's that many people jumping on buying Pride or Donnie or the Secret Rare Spider-Man collectible, but it's a balance. So Adulu says, I think it makes sense for token holders to move their tokens off exchanges to create scarcity. That can help drive the price. I agree with you. And I think later this week, when we have the OMI utility article released by Dan, I think once we see the value proposition to staking our OMI, now that OMI utility is going to be its own track of rewards, I think that there's going to be a lot of benefit to taking the OMI off of the exchanges and hodling it, staking it, using it to buy NFTs, using it to buy land. There's going to be so many positives, and I definitely agree. Creating the scarcity should drive up the price and obviously make the value proposition for all holders even better. The Logic Fear says December tops. Is that for 2 cents, or is that for the finishing of the migration? Sorry, I might have missed that. Oh, great. I don't have Go tokens. How many tokens do I need? Kyle seems like he's going to hook you up there, brother. It's very simple. I think you need like 1 Go token, which is like a ridiculously cheap price. The only issue that you run into is when you go to buy it on an exchange, you have to buy like $10 worth. So then you end up with all these Go tokens that you don't need. I think I even have some. So if any of you guys want to hit me up, I definitely have no problem sending them to you. They're worth absolutely nothing. And unlike OMI, where like 1 OMI, or let's say I had to send you 10 OMI, like 10 OMI at $10 is $100. I'm sending you $100. Like 1 Go token will never be worth like more than a penny. So I think there's a lot of people in the community that would be more than happy to help you out with that. So James, anyone swapping their tokens should only send a small amount just in case they make a mistake. That's a great tip as well, James. I 100% agree with that. So back in the day when I first transferred my OMI off of the exchange into my Trust wallet, I sent the minimum amount that you could send, waited until the confirmation was completed, ensured that I had the confirmation and that it showed up in my Trust wallet. Once those wallets and addresses were saved on both areas, and I knew that that was going to happen, no question about it, I then sent the rest of it at that point. You always want to make sure that if you're doing it the first time, even if you're 100% confident that you didn't make any mistakes, I would much rather incur a fee twice and make sure that I receive my entire amount than send the entire thing once and lose everything, because that would be an absolute disaster. And at that point, there's likely very little that ECOMI can do for you. Once it's out there and it's been sent to an incorrect address or whatever, you most likely have lost it. So that's a great point. Make sure your GoChain is enabled on your wallet. Yeah, make sure that's enabled as well. Call offers to pay for the gems. Honestly, brother, I mean, that's up to Kyle what he decides. But like I said, Go tokens are so cheap. Like, we're literally talking a fraction of a penny. So once again, and not to ruin anyone's business model here, but if anyone is saying, hey, give me $10 so I can give you Go tokens, respectfully, and I mean, Kyle's a great guy, like, I don't think he'd ever do that, but like, they're ripping you off at that point. Like, it should not cost you any money to get the Go tokens if you're buying them yourself. If someone wants to give one to you out of the goodness of their heart, like, they really shouldn't be charging you. Like, we're a community. I think we can all kind of hook each other up with that. So, Justin, what up, Foster? Finally caught you live. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. We got quite a few people in the chat, guys. If you have any questions, you want to discuss anything, be a part of the conversation. Pipe up, man. This is a safe space. We can all talk about things. We're all chilling. We're vibing. Let's get that like number up into double digits. Thank you so much. Literally, as I said that, it happened. You guys are great. I appreciate it. And we're going to be doing more stuff like this more often. We're going to be going over VEVE ECOMI stuff. We're going to be going over a lot of stuff. Like as this transition happens, thank you so much for the likes, guys. Oh my god, I feel bad. We went from 9 to 15 just because I asked. Apparently, I need to harass you guys more often. Apparently, and then you guys are nice to me. So, I really do appreciate it, guys. But we're gonna have tons of news. I'm for all of you that don't mind putting up with the nonsense that I bring out. I remember my buddy messaged me a couple days ago. And he's like, "Hey man, like some people are trash talking you in the VEVE Discord," and I was like, I wasn't even a part. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I wasn't even a part of the VEVE Discord, and I was like, okay, like what are they saying? So I joined the VEVE Discord, and people were like, "Hey, I don't like the sound of his voice," and I'm like, what kind of feedback is that? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, what if I talk like this? Like, I don't know what to say, guys. I'm just a guy hanging out, trying to have a conversation with people. I'm sorry if you don't like my voice. Not much I can do about it. I was born with it, and it is what it is. But if you guys don't mind listening to what I have to say, I always appreciate the support. I love to hear what you guys have to say as well, too. Like if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to add any comments or anything that you're seeing with the VEVE app, with the OMI token, whatever the case may be, let me know. Like, let me know what you guys want to talk about. This is just me kind of hanging out, looking to have a conversation about whatever you guys want to have a conversation about. Obviously, we went over the Immutable Medium article that's come out. There will be a lot of information released about that. For those of you that are interested, I am going live with the real Randy Chavez tomorrow. I think we're probably doing it at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time again. We did it last week on Wednesday, 11:15, and we went for 4 hours, which was just absolutely absurd. So he's super passionate about the project. For anyone that follows my channel that doesn't know who Randy Chavez is, which I don't think is possible, he's got like 4,000 subscribers, 106 million OMI. He's completing a bunch of sets from Series 1. He is the definition of a whale, but he's also the nicest guy in the entire world. Like, you cannot find a nicer guy who will talk to anyone. Like, he's not in his head about having followers and being better than other people. He's a great guy. So we're gonna have a nice chat tomorrow. We'll probably go over the immutable migration and things that we're focusing on. Guys, thank you so much for the 20 likes. I really appreciate that. That's fantastic. We have almost as many likes as we do concurrent viewers, and that means a lot. That goes to show me that you guys are enjoying the content and you guys are enjoying hanging out. I really do appreciate that. So, yeah, so we're going to be going live with him tomorrow. I'm also looking at putting together a couple other interviews. Alex, Q, and I are going to be, yes sir, will be going over something at some point. We're going to do a live stream together. Chris Sievers and I are going to do a live stream of stuff together. And if any of you guys want to come on and talk about anything, like I said, like the live stream that I did the other day, like anyone that wanted to join, I was running Rocket League. You guys want to run Call of Duty? I'll run Call of Duty. Like we're chilling. So if you guys want to talk about anything, you guys want to do anything,
Down to go anywhere.
just let me know, and we'll go over it. So the Megalodon bullish scenario end of year.
Landing inside the hangar.
Sure. Like how bullish do you want me to go? Because I can go as bullish as you want me to go. So I'll give like a standard bullish that I think is relatively realistic, and then I'll give you the Moon Boy scenario that I think, you know, both could be realistic. But I think for end of year, if they roll out Immutable, we get mainstream adoption from announcements like the James Bond film. If Comic-Con goes really well in New York, if all of these things happen and are successful, I could see at least 10 cents by the end of the year. That's like my very bullish case scenario. I could definitely see 10 cents by the end of this year being a possibility, because 10 cents by the end of this year with a full circulating supply of tokens, which is about 300 billion, we would be looking at anywhere between a 30 to 40 billion dollar market cap, which is a 30 to 40x from where we are right now. I definitely think that is well bullish, a possibility with 300 billion. And what you have to remember as well is we won't have 300 billion because we're going to have OMI to NFT. We're going to have staking as a form of utility. So with those things in place, we're not seeing 30 or 300 billion. We're maybe seeing 250 billion. So only needing, you know, a $25 billion market cap, I don't think is impossible by any means. That to me is a bullish. If you want to talk like a Moon Boy bullish scenario, I could see us going up to 30 to 40 cents by the end of this year. And when I say the end of this year, I should clarify that it's more like Q1 2022. And the reason that I say is it's more like Q1 2022 is that the time frame that we would need isn't going to happen in time. So when I say it's not going to happen in time, we're talking the migration to Immutable. We're talking being listed on exchanges. We're talking mainstream adoption. We're talking OMI to NFT. We're talking OMI to land are all available at the same time. If all of those things are available at the same time, if a bunch of OMI gets staked on the OMI utility track, which I will be doing a video on once Dan releases further information about it, once all of that comes out, it's very easy for me to see. Like, well, I'll take Dogecoin as a perfect example, okay? Dogecoin, in its peak back in April, went from a market cap of $7 billion to $90 billion in a span of 30 days, okay? So, why was Dogecoin even at... Oh, it's a single fire. Why was Dogecoin even at $7 billion to begin with? I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I think I'm landing in hospital, bro.
There's no reason, right? It has absolutely no utility. It makes absolutely no sense. The fact that it went to $90 billion makes absolutely no sense. You cannot convince me of a reason of why Dogecoin was worth anything that it was worth. So with all of those things in mind, it's not impossible to say, hey, if Dogecoin can do it, OMI can do it. OMI is a utility token that will, in this hypothetical scenario, have 5 or 6 separate use cases. It's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. So with all of that in mind, is it possible to hit a $90 billion market cap with OMI by the end of the year? Yes, a ton of things need to happen in order to have it happen, and the time frame would have to be so perfect. Do I believe it's going to happen? No. But once again, if Dogecoin can go from 7 billion
Why did you do that?
to 90 billion in 30 days, it's definitely possible for OMI to go to a 50 billion within that time frame. Absolutely no questions asked. And if we went to 50 billion with a 300 billion circulating supply, which is worst case scenario for all the tokens, we'd be at 30 cents. So do I think that it's possible?
Get over here.
Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? Like, do I think it's as far as being likely? No, I do not. But you're asking if it's possible, bullish case scenario, it most definitely is. So it's very exciting. I'm very excited about it. I think extremely bullish case scenario, it could go even higher. But once again, what's your time frame? If it's end of year, I don't think we're looking at it being super possible, because as we know, good or not, ECOMI has a ton of delays in the plans that they come out with, because they're making sure that they do it slowly and they do it right. So I'm expecting delays with almost everything that they come out with. So do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think it's likely? No. Would I be extremely happy to see it happen? I mean, you better believe I would be. If we hit 30 cents by the end of this year, I would have $5 million. I mean, guys, I'd be super stoked. Like, that'd be crazy. Like, you're talking like drinks on me type stuff. You know what I mean? Like, for everyone. Like, it'd just be absolutely crazy. Like, super bullish, super exciting. But don't get carried away, right? Like, yes, it's exciting, but here's the problem. Like, you expect 30 cents by the end of this year, and then we hit 3 cents, and then it feels like a disappointment. But then you realize that for most of us, that's a 10x from where we started at the beginning of this year. So just have realistic expectations. But Megalodon, it's a great question, and it does get me excited. I don't know. Megalodon says between 5 cents, 15 cents if we get listed on a couple of big exchanges, at least, let's say Coinbase or Binance. I agree with you. Big exchange listings will have a huge catalyst on OMI token price. But once again, what are the whales doing about that, right? Like, are the whales coming out and making our lives miserable? Or are there so many people invested in OMI now and VEVE that they're just like, no, we don't have the power anymore. We're either selling because we're getting out, or we're holding and we can't manipulate anymore. That is the thing that I'm most excited about. You're not going to see the whale manipulation anymore, because what's going to happen is their position is just going to get bought right up. And the whales, say what you want about them, they're smart. They know what they're... Oh my lord.
You successfully defended yourself.
That's a kill.
Where?
Sorry, bro, I got you.
Enemy UAV overhead.
It's very exciting for sure.
Prep for area recon.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see 5 to 15 cents being a possibility. I
You got no buys near you, man. You can take this whip.
I just don't see it being super.
Body is over here.
I just don't see it being super realistic, but I do see it being a possibility.
Got
So
kids pulling up on that loadie too.
I'm gonna turn off my hair trigger. No, we're not gonna.
Yeah, I would just try to get me back, and you could even grab loadie, dude.
Guys, I'm scared.
No, I'm saying you could buy a loadie instead of grabbing that.
I believe Luke says I believe VEVE will drop huge news about Master Collector and staking this week. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I think the article is supposed to come out by the end of this week. I'm hoping that it comes out by the end of this week.
I don't know what you were doing, man.
Oh, we died. Here, let's leave that game for a second so we can focus. Yeah, so we know that the article is supposed to come out by the end of this week. So I'm very excited about it, and like I said, I'm going to be covering a ton of content on it. It's going to be super exciting. Brandon says, "Oh my God, didn't get any on the drop before it sold out. Got one at the 90-second rebound and just arrived. Secret rare. I'm numb. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, brother. That's sick. Yo, I'm so stoked for you, man. That's awesome. That's why you never give up, guys. That's why you never give up. Rebound." Take it down. Let's go, Brandon. Let's give some big ups in the chats for Brandon. Medi, Foster, did you see the comparison from Mr. Jeremy Potter with Pokemon Go? Is it legit to compare it to Niantic Ink stock? That's what I call bullish. I didn't see Jeremy compare it to Pokemon Go stock. I've seen him compare it to the user base that Pokemon Go had, which I do think is relatively realistic, especially if, as I believe, and as I think many of you believe, we have the Pokemon license. So if that's the case, then yes, I do think it's very realistic to get the user base on. I think what you need to remember with price action when it comes to the OMI token is that it will always boil down to is what is the circulating supply of the token and what is the market cap, because those two things determine an individual token price. So if we reduce our circulating supply to 1 billion tokens and we have $100 billion market cap, then the one token would be worth $100. So is it realistic in that regard? Yes, but right now we're at 310 billion. So is it possible? Well, yeah, eventually. How much time are we talking? Versus is it realistic? Well, yes, it's realistic, but how much time, right? So I'm very excited about all the information that Jeremy puts out. Jeremy and I were in a Twitter space a week or so back talking with Dan Schwabel and I can't remember the other gentleman's name right now. And Jeremy reached out to me afterwards, and we had a very nice conversation. Very, very nice guy, super down to earth, and extremely bullish on the project. So I think when Jeremy talks, people should listen. I put out a retweet of a tweet he put out last night talking about OMI token burn and how we could burn 50 billion OMI in 12 months just off of drops. And that was it. It didn't include OMI to NFT. It didn't include staking. It didn't include OMI burn from other sources, OMI to land. So it was very exciting. So no Medi, but I don't know if he compared the price, but if he compared the user base, when we think about the fact that they only plan to have 700,000, that they only plan to have 30,000 people on the app by the end of this year, and they already have 700,000. If they announce Pokemon, there's no reason why we couldn't have 100 million people on the VV app. Absolutely no reason. Niantic did it, and we know that VV with the VVverse is basically building out a better version of Pokemon Go with VR and AR capability. The only difference is that there's about 100 other licenses that are also the biggest brands of licenses in the world that are coming along with it, and it's not just Pokemon. So it's going to be nutty. VV Vault, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Is this on console? No, this is not on console. I am playing it on PC, but Call of Duty Warzone is available on both console and PC. I'll actually be hosting a Call of Duty live stream later in October. I haven't had a chance to reach out to all the content creators yet to see if they're interested in participating. But if you're interested in participating, definitely hit me up. Everyone is welcome, but I'm also looking to get as many content creators as possible as well. We have Taps Trades, we have Daniel Lee, we have Cavell Anderson, who should be participating as well. I'll be speaking with Randy Chavez tomorrow when we go live, trying to get him to participate. And then there's a lot of other YouTubers I've been reaching out to as well, Niall Ballantyne and a couple others. So the women of VV will also be participating. So we're just trying to get as many people involved. So if you're interested, hit me up for sure. Wow, I just looked at the Spider-Man. Wow, these comics look incredible. Is that the new Spider-Man that they announced that's coming out on Thursday? It looks incredible for sure. I'm super excited about that. Kurt, what's up? What's going on, Kurt? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. The Megalodon. Whales are holding the price down to try and get burn as much Omi as possible while the token is still cheap. And that's a perspective, right? And that's why it's important, because we see a lot of people say, oh, whales are causing negative price action. This is ridiculous. There's so many tokens. Like, we're never going to run out of them, and now the whales are manipulating the price. That is a perspective that people don't understand, right? So as the token price is lower, we burn more Omi relative to every purchase that is made. So I put out a video a couple weeks ago on my channel, and I said, you may burn 1 billion Omi on a drop at 0.002, but once we hit 2 cents, which is a 10x of the price, you're actually only burning 100 million instead of 1 billion. So now you would need 10 drops to offset being at 0.002. So actually, if you believe in the project for a time frame of at least 3 to 5 years, which is what I'm invested in, then you understand that whales keeping the price low, although it sucks to see the price not going up because you don't understand it. You're like, it doesn't make sense what's going on. I know my investment is worth a lot more than this. It's not happening. It's actually a good thing. And I am inclined to agree with you. I'm not super stoked about whale action because, I don't think anyone's happy once you start to see some momentum and just getting killed. But at the same time, there are logical reasons behind why it may be happening. Now, are all whales doing it to benefit Omi token holders? That's a different conversation. I think there may be some negative actors out there, but I would say in large part, you are right. There are some whales that want to see, or a lot of whales that want to see Omi succeed. They bought in very early. They understand the value cost proposition, and that's what they're working on. Brandon says Thursday's drop, all the covers look so friggin' cool. I'm going to pull it up in a second here. Let me go through a couple more comments, and then we'll pull up the article that they posted out. Kyle, got to run for a bit. Thanks so much for the content. Keep up the great work, Foster. Thanks so much, Kyle. I appreciate that. And once again, Kyle, thanks so much for reaching out to me on Twitter today and asking me a couple questions. Once again, guys, I respond to absolutely everyone that messages me on socials, whether it be on my YouTube channel or on Twitter. I'm always happy to interact and discuss with the community. I said it once earlier, and I'll say it again. I'm only live because Kyle messaged me earlier today, and he had a couple questions that he had about the token swap, and I figured if he had them, some other people might have them. So I figured we could discuss it in a group. So thanks so much, Kyle. Galt says these covers are like the red and black only the most. Brandon, I want them the most. Rare Grimesby, all I got was an uncommon and an ultra rare from the boxes. All I got? Brother, if you got the uncommon and the ultra rare, you're doing well. Or do you mean like over every single drop? Or do you just mean today? Because that's really good if you got that today. Galt says, Kyle, I owe you gems. Yeah, VV Vault says, all I got, LOL. Yeah, I hope he's talking about like through all like 25 comic drops, because if it was just today, brother, you got some high expectations. Crypto Neon, do you think we might see Yu-Gi-Oh! Announced before Pokemon as a final test run of sorts? Yes. I do think that Pokemon will be announced before, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Will be announced. I think almost everything will be announced before Pokemon, because, when people say like, oh, you peaked in high school or whatever, what you have to remember is once we have Pokemon, like, where do you go from there? Like, how do you follow up Pokemon? There's just absolutely no way to follow it up. Like, at that point, you literally have peaked. Like, GG's. So, yeah, no, I don't see Pokemon being announced before some of those other licenses, especially when it's related to the same fandom. Like I said, for anime in that genre, Pokemon is the precipice, it's the peak, it's the the holy grail. If you announce that and then you announce something afterwards, like what attention is that going to get? Like, we're just going to, like, remember how Pokemon Go was when it first came out, and like tens of thousands of people were like meeting in parks, especially over in Asia? Man, that was nuts. So yeah, it's hard to say, but no, I do agree we would see something like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Before Pokemon. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, they're the marketing experts at the end of the day, but no, I think they've already, David confirmed in the interview with the Chinese investors on the last AMA that he did, that we will be seeing a Japanese-centric brand being announced in the next month. Some people have speculated that it could be Mario Bros. To line up with the release of the movie that they have coming out. I could see that being a possibility, so we'll just have to wait and see. But regardless, I do believe that they have Pokemon. For me, it's not a matter of if, but when they announce it, and it's going to break the internet. Brandon says we were lucky to get anything. I agree with you. But once again, nah, just today I wanted the secret rare, but I'm still happy. Hey man, that ultra rare is going to be worth several $1,000s one day. I mean, if I know you're unhappy, I'm sure a lot of people in the chat would be more than willing to compensate you for your disappointment and buy those comic books off of you. So I hear you, man. I think we all want a secret rare. I've participated in every comic drop. I've never gotten a secret rare. The most I've gotten is an ultra rare. My wife actually pulled the secret rare Spider-Man #1 comic, which is basically our prized possession right now. It's worth about $15,000, but I'm not selling it because I know exactly what's going to happen with it in the next 6 to 12 months, and I'm going to hold it until it hits 6 figures, and then maybe you'll be able to twist my arm to sell it, but. No, we consider ourselves very fortunate. That's going to be my daughter's, education fund right there. So, I do hear you. It would be nice to be able to get a secret rare every drop, but if we could all get them every drop, then they wouldn't be worth anything, right? So, Sean says, I have a 5-second head start and still couldn't get a comic. My friend managed to get one, though, with a brand new account. You have a 5-second head start? How do you have a 5-second head start? How does that work out? What does that mean? I need a 5-second head start. Give me a 5-second head start. Sean says Disney is probably more lucrative than Pokemon in the long run. It's funny that you say that because there's actually I've seen statistics that LOL Surprise and MGA Entertainment that they announced with all of those products have actually outsold Pokemon and Barbie the last couple of years. So like ECOMI and VEVE know exactly what they're doing. Like we're out here being like, hey, I want to see this because I think it'd be awesome. And they're out here releasing these brands that everyone's like, oh, what the heck is this? And then you start doing research on it and it's like, oh, this is actually going to bring in a more diverse audience, is worth more money, and has sold more items. Now, Pokemon is still a higher grossing overall, but over the last 3 to 4 years, LOL Surprise and MGA Entertainment has outsold Pokemon and Barbie. So just remember that. Like when you guys are asking for something and then they release something and it's not what you were hoping for, there is a group of people that will come out and buy it. Like I'll be honest with you, Givenchy and the whole release, I had very little interest in. Not because I don't believe in the cause or anything like that. It's just like artwork, like 2D artwork is not really my thing. I still went for the Amelia and then sold it for $350 and it's worth $8,000 now. So don't take my advice when it comes to collectibles. But like had I known and had I listened to people like the VV Vault, who was like, hey, go for this or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, or the Comic Book Way or like any of these guys, like they understand the collectibles. Like I understand the money behind the OMI token and the price action and that kind of stuff. I know very little about the collectibles. I can do research and tell you how much something as a company is worth, but an individual collectible, I'm completely out to lunch. So yeah, it would be nice to see Pokemon and all these big brands, but they have a marketing strategy and they're executing it to absolute perfection. As we can see, we're just starting to get that mainstream adoption with the 007 movie. We know that we're going to be tied into more movies, possibly concerts, possibly sporting events with the NFLPA. They're covering everything. It's going to be great. So, VV Vault, you did great. Rare, congratulations. Yeah, Rare. I think I got. I'm gonna have to check in a second. I think I managed to get 2. So I got 1 on the sale, and then I got 1 on the re-up as well. I think I got 1 uncommon. So I'll check to see what my other mint is. I haven't checked. Sean says, do you need the fastest internet possible to get the drops? Internet speed is not as important, in my opinion, as your latency and ping is. So you could run a speed test right now on your cell phone. Just type in speed test on Google. I use Ookla. It's like speedtest.net. Which is what we use in Canada. I don't know if it's available in the States, but I have a 4 millisecond ping, which is like absolutely fantastic. Mind you, I pay a crap ton for my internet, but it pays off. Like if I can get a collectible and someone can't because they don't have as good of internet, it pays off. I do see the way that a lot of the drops are rolled out changing over time. I could see them introducing blind box more or a lottery system or something like that as we start to get so many users, because I don't anticipate them raising the collectible numbers to crazy amounts. Like if we have 5 million people on the app, I still don't see you being able to get 2 million commons. Like that still isn't rare enough in my opinion. So yeah, I don't see that happening. But at the same time, they'll raise it a little bit relative. I'm sure there's a percentage that they're aiming to be in between. And then certain collectibles that maybe have a bigger fan base, maybe will have more releases, like we saw with the Spider-Man and with Back to the Future, how they did like large releases. But overall, yeah, I think they're gonna have to change the way that they do drops, because like you said, it's really, and I'll be the first one to admit it, I have an unfair advantage. I honestly do. I have fantastic internet, and I have very low ping and latency. So when I'm competing, I have much more of an advantage as someone that maybe lives in, I've heard people in Australia have a hell of a time, maybe people that live in an area that doesn't have as good internet connection or whatever. Like, I can't even do these drops on Wi-Fi. If I'm doing it, or not on Wi-Fi, sorry, on data network. Like, if I'm out at work and I try and do the drop, I don't get them because my connection just isn't quick enough. Like, you have to be, like, it's crazy what you have to do to do it. So, Justin says fast internet definitely helps, but luck is still the most important thing. Yeah, I agree. I think luck is important, and I think also having, and I think VV Vault may have covered this as well, having gems on your account beforehand helps as well, because when they're sending the information over to the server, they're going to send it in two different tracks. People that already have gems that can complete the transaction immediately, and people that need to buy gems. Buying gems takes an extra step, which puts more network load on that transaction versus the transaction that already has gems. Technically, you can buy it without gems, but with how competitive it is, I would say just having it on your account is better than nothing. So, Sean W., I got one secret rare so far, but I sold it to buy Season 1 collectibles. If you don't mind me asking, what secret rare did you have? But yeah, I think quantity over quality, if you're completing multiple sets by selling one collectible, will always be the best bet. I tried yesterday to add more to my sets, and I was looking into it, and I was like, I cannot afford to add any. Like, I can't. Like the cheapest single, like, one collectible, because I have Lucky, like, to get Big Barter Starfire is like 2,500 gems. And then, I think VV Vault as well. I keep shouting you out, but I think you did a video yesterday, or with someone else, the top 10 collectibles, like the cheapest collectibles to own, like the sets. And I own 9 of them. I just didn't own the 10th one, and it was the Call of Cthulhu, like the Necronomicon and the 3 statues. I actually got 2 statues. My wife got one and I got one during Comic-Con, and we sold both of them. So had we held both of those, I probably would have finished the set. Now it's like $1,500 to complete it the second he put out his video. So there's not really a point for me anyways in completing it. I have 16 sets. So, but yeah. So, I thought we had a head start if we had more collectibles or set. My countdown is faster than my girlfriend's. No, not yet, Sean. That's something that they're planning on releasing, possibly at some point. But I think what is likely happening is, are you guys using 2 different types of devices? Like, are you using an iPhone and she's using an Android device? Because what I noticed is if you have devices, even if they're running on the same network, if they have different processing power, if they're not 2 identical devices, the countdown might actually be off by ever so slightly. So if she's running a device that maybe not has much RAM or isn't as good quality, or if she's running an Android, which I've noticed tends to be a little bit behind iPhone, that might be the reason you're seeing that. Rip Curls, was the migration priced in this move to 0.005 now that it's been officially announced the price isn't moving? Wonder if we'll see some downside action in Omi token. It really depends what part of the migration you're referring to. Like, if you're referring to just moving the tokens over, I mean, maybe. But at the same time, 0.005 is half of the current, or not even half of the current all-time high that we've already hit. And with all the positive catalysts coming, with the MTL, with OMI to NFT, with the exchange listings once we move over to Immutable, and with the pump in collectible prices you'll see with the ETH whales coming in, I would say that it's not at all priced in. I would say for where we are currently, the whales have held it at this level because we've found support. We've closed the last 11 days over the 0.005 margin. So we're holding well in this zone, and we're kind of just consolidating at this point. But I think that once we officially move over, I think we might see some resistance around 0.007. And then we might see some resistance around 0.009. And then once we hit 1.3 cents, the current all-time high, we'll see some fairly high resistance because we'll see a lot of people that bought into the project back at its all-time high that had no conviction in the project, that don't understand it, that will either sell off because they want to move on to other things, or it'll be a take profit level for a lot of people. But once we hit that and we enter price discovery, which we will, I think, in the next month, just based on all of the catalysts, the sky is really the limit, because there really should be no reason with OMI staking, with the Master Collector program, with being listed on exchanges and being listed on Immutable, with the amount of eyes that are going to come into the project from the mainstream and the crypto world, there's absolutely no reason to see any of that, in my opinion. Sean, you're in Canada as well. Okay, cool, dude. Rare says, I use 4G and score boxes and seen people with 5G complaining about bots. It's luck of the draw, brother. Like, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say bots aren't an issue and that they don't exist. I believe that there are still people that use bots, that use emulators. But I also believe that VEVE and ECOMI is doing their best to try and combat that issue. And when it was brought up in the community a couple months ago and a ton of people were at their wits' end about it, you saw en masse the CAPTCHA and all of these things that they were adding in, changing the way that the drops took place and whatever. Like, so... They're working on it. Is it ever going to be a perfect system? I don't think so, but it's working on being improved. But like you said, it really is luck of the draw. Yes, I do have fiber optic, Sean. It's my internet is just crazy fast. Like I get like 950 megabyte upload, and actually I could probably do it for you guys live on stream right now, and we'll see what it's giving me right now on my computer. We'll see, just for fun. Sorry, my doorbell just rang and my dogs got excited. So yeah, we'll run a speed test right now, live, and I'll show you guys why having important internet is exciting. So remember that the VEVE web app isn't available right now, so we cannot buy items online right now. I guess if people are using an emulator and doing it illegally, you can, if you have like the Android, whatever it is. So yes, that's a possibility, but I'm obviously using my phone right now, right? So on my phone, the numbers will be lower because it's running Wi-Fi and this is a wired connection. But to show you, I have a 1 millisecond ping, which is literally as low as you can possibly get it. I have a 913 megabyte per second download and a 690 upload. So if you're not getting these numbers, that is why you're not getting drops. So run this test on your phone, and if your ping's like 50, well, that's why you're not getting drops. It's not, well, it could possibly be because of bots, but like, let's be honest. It's because the time that it takes your device to send that information to the server, my device could have conceivably done it 50 times. So just remember that. Like, it's not necessarily... And I'm not going to say, like I said, I'm not out here saying the bots don't exist. I do believe that they do, but just remember that when you hear people saying, oh, I didn't get it because of bots or whatever, well, what is your device running? What kind of device do you have? I have a brand new iPhone. I do speed tests on it, and I make sure that no one else in my house is on the internet. We're just focused on VEVE. We're not running anything else. I'm getting that upload and download right now while I'm streaming and playing a video game. So imagine what my internet would be doing if it didn't have any more internet load on it than that. Like, I have fantastic internet, and I'm very fortunate that I have that opportunity. So Kurt says 10 million Pikachus. Man, 10 million Pikachus would be the only thing that would sell out immediately and then still 10x in price afterwards. It'd be crazy. The what if. Okay, the what if secret. Yeah, I think all secret rares are currently undervalued currently, but at the same time, I think that that one is probably not the highest of value. So let's see here. Okay, so I got the common Uncanny X-Men number 4. I was just checking for you guys, and the uncommon. And the uncommon was a 13k mint, and the common was an 18k mint. But hey, I can't complain. I got 2 comics, right? So definitely more fortunate than a lot of people that maybe didn't get the chance or opportunity. So I consider myself very fortunate. So Sean says, yeah, it's so expensive. I bought 3 Todd McFarlanes plus way more for the 3K I got for that comic. That's it, man. And look at that. Like I own 1 Todd McFarlane. I bought it back when it was $325, and I knew nothing about collectibles. I felt like it was very speculative. Like, oh, why am I doing this? This is maybe a bad idea. I did it. And now the thing's worth like $1,500 or whatever it's worth, and I'm not selling it anytime soon. Guys, it was the first collectible to ever be dropped on VV. Like, that thing is going to be worth $100,000 one day. Yeah, it might take years, but I'm not selling that thing. Like, are you kidding me? I have so many collectibles, and I've shot myself in the foot with it so many times, guys. I sold the Amelia Earhart for $325. I sold my secret rare Spider-Man Ultimate Animated for $1,600. I've made so many idiotic decisions when it comes to selling collectibles, just because I didn't have the gems to buy more drops, but oh, it's painful, guys, to see the prices that some of these collectibles are at now that I either could have purchased and didn't, or purchased and sold. Oh, I'm a hodler. You've made a hodler out of me. It's just insane. Sean, I'm going to DesignerCon. Are you? No, I'm pretty cautious, and I definitely, as things start to reopen with everything that's kind of been going on in the world, I'll definitely look at starting to travel to some of these events, kind of hanging out with everyone. I'd love to be a part of kind of the 5 cent, 10 cent, all of these parties. And I've been in talks with a couple of other content creators about doing some things up in Canada. I'm just not at the point yet where I'm at the comfort level where I would be willing to go to an event with a ton of people. I don't even really go to restaurants or anything right now. I have a 15-month-old daughter at home, and she's not vaccinated. And to protect her, I act as cautious as I can because I believe as a healthy 30-year-old that I'd be fine, but I don't know what the long-term implications are of her getting it. And I would gladly give up any opportunity to go out and see everyone, no offense to anyone, for my daughter. Like, she's the most important thing to me. That's family, and I'm going to do whatever I can to protect her. So would I like to go? And a big ups, like, awesome that you're going. That's fantastic. I'm just not at the point where I think my wife and I are comfortable with me attending that kind of stuff. But eventually, as things start to progress, you'll definitely see me out there, guys. Absolutely no idea. Yeah, we got Android and iPhone. That's your issue, brother. 100%. That's exactly why that's happening. Android has a delay on it, so even if it's a tenth of a second, once again, that tenth of a second is going to be the difference between you getting it and not. Justin, yeah, if you're not utilizing all the VV Vault tips, then you're going to be at a disadvantage, even with great internet and a new phone. My experience, anyways. I agree with you. And VV Vault, like, he's got some next level tips, man. I'll be honest, I don't follow all the tips that he puts out because, like, some of them are intense, like put your phone in the fridge and like cool it down and everything. Like I haven't gone to that level because I've been, because of my internet, successful with getting. Like, I can't recall the time that between my wife and I, we haven't gotten the rarest item on an actual drop. Obviously on comic books, it's luck of the draw. But I mean, even when Lucky came out, like, she was on her phone, I was on my phone. There was only 999 editions. I got one, she didn't. But generally, it's pretty solid with our internet. But if you struggle because you don't have, the best device or other issues, definitely check out VV Vault. Big ups to him. I agree. Kurt, am I the only one bothered by the feet on today's secret rare cover? Yes, possibly. I didn't get the secret rare, so I wouldn't know. Why are you doing this to me? Like, and especially if you got it too, like, I own the secret rare, but is anyone bothered by its feet? Like, I'd have to smack you. So, let's see what you're talking about here. So let's see. Okay, just for my reference, X-Men Uncommon going for 105 right now, and the Common going for 35. I definitely see that Uncommon number shooting up quite a bit. Let's see. Where is that's the Ultra Rare. Where's the Secret Rare? Secret Rare. Ooh, yeah, I do see what you're saying there. That's interesting. Yeah, it is kind of weird. For those of you that maybe want to see that don't want to pull it up on your phone right away, it may not come in super clear, but yeah, that is a little weird. Yeah, I agree with you. That is kind of weird. No, you're right. Real Ratzer, yeah, my ping's 1. Yeah, I ran it there for you, and like I said, I'm very fortunate. I have very good internet, and I can say this publicly. Like, I don't run bots, I don't run emulators. Like, I just have very good internet, so I have very good luck with using, the tricks that VV Vault has put out. Specifically a line gate is something that I've had a lot of success with, and yeah. Sean says, I tried to use BlueStacks with macros for VV, but I don't think VV work on there. Honestly, man, like, I mean, do what you want. It's your money. I personally am not of the mind that I would want to use emulators at this point. I would rather miss out on a drop than get caught using something that's against the TOS and getting my account and possibly collectibles taken away from me. It's a risky proposition. Like, if that's something that you want to do, you know, all the power to you. That's fine. But yeah, I'm not at the point where I would feel comfortable kind of using that. Maybe back a few months ago before it was technically against the rules, I didn't, full disclosure, but maybe I would have considered had I found out about it quicker. But now that like they've come out and taken a hard stance against it, it's not worth it, guys. Like, I have 40. Wasn't going to catch me again today. Last time I did this and I talked for 2 minutes with my headset dead. I wasn't going to let that happen again. I heard it this time. Nice try, headset. Yeah, I wouldn't risk trying it this time personally, but that's just me. Like, I have $40,000 worth of collectibles on my account right now, and if they were to take that away from me because I was caught using something that it was against the rules, that'd be bad news bears. So, Justin, that's Beast before he got his blue fur. He still got those Sasquatch feet though. Cool. It's cool that you guys know all this stuff about comic books. I'll be honest, I'm not a big comic book guy. I don't know a ton about that stuff, but I know they're going to be valuable, and I'm going to continue to collect them. So, no, that's awesome. Aaron, I have Amazing Superman number 1, 1423 secret rare. How long before it pays off my house? Brother, that's fantastic. The one that we own, I think, is 42,000 range. I think, something like that. 1423, that is absolutely nuts. Pick a number, brother. Like, I don't want to throw one out for you, but, and I don't know how expensive your house is, but I would say you would have no problem eventually getting 30 ETH for that, and 30 ETH is $1 million. So it may not happen right away, but make sure you're diamond handing that baby. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You know, if you need to sell it and someone gives you a good offer, then you do you. But yeah, I'd be holding that thing. You know, I'd be holding that thing tight. Congratulations, man. That's fantastic. The Megalodon. I mean, if people don't believe by now in this project and sell off their token at all-time high, that'll just be the beginning of a long run-up for Omi token. I agree with you. I'm more than happy to get Omi into the hands of people that believe in the project. And once again, we've discussed it earlier, and Megalodon brought up a good point. Like lower price just results in higher burn, which is why the token is absolutely perfect. What people need to understand is that the higher the token goes, the less we burn, right? So what's the incentive to go higher? Well, not a lot, right? So then let's burn the token by lowering the price. Burning the token then in turn raises the value of all other tokens, and then we can push. So what you're going to see is a rinse and repeat process. So you're going to see going up, going back down to the floor, going up, going back down to the floor, going up. Like that's what you're going to see. It's going to be parabolic, but it's going to be sustainable in my opinion. Will you see pullbacks? You see pullbacks in every coin. Of course it's going to happen, but it's going to be fantastic. Yob's music. Yo, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. My download is 80 and upload is 60. Yeah, that's the problem. What's your ping though? Because for gaming, you really only need like 5 megabytes. Like, it doesn't need to be very high. What's your ping? What was your ping number? Yub says, we're losing the chat here. There we go. Bro, is this happening? Bro, it is happening, man. And I could not be more excited. It's going to be so exciting. It's going to be so exciting. I absolutely cannot wait. This is like, we right now, because this is recorded, right? Like, this will be on my YouTube channel. We can look back on this in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and we'll be able to reminisce. Like, this 25 people in the chat right now will know that we were here. We were the real ones. We were the ones that believed in the project. We had diamond hands, and we're all on vacation renting out, like, entire, like, resorts together, chilling with our Omi retirement fund. Like, it's going to be crazy that we were here. Like, I just can't wait. I don't want the vaccine, so I stayed home for 2 hours. LOL. I can't do that anymore. I'm sick of it. I get where you're coming from, though. Hey, man. And that's it. I mean, I'm definitely not going to turn this into a debate in that regard. Like, you obviously have your right to get the vaccine or not. Oh, 2 years. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I was like, you stayed home for 2 hours. Like, what'd you do the rest of the time? Hey, man, all personal preference. I definitely don't want to take that away from anyone. For us, it made sense, and for my job as a frontline worker, I'm required to have it as a part of my job. So, regardless of whether I have any personal feelings on it, I had to get it, or else I was going to be unemployed. So I got it. So. Megalodon, hey Foster, do you see Todd at 10K in a few months after MTL and more whales getting in the app? Yes. Yes, I do. 100%. No doubt in my mind. What people need to remember, okay, is what was Todd at when we had 100,000 users on the app? What was Todd at when we had 300,000 users on the app? What is Todd at now when we have 700,000 users on the app? We went from $80 sell price to it being available in the store for months to it selling out and me buying it in May or June for $325. We're now 4 months later and it's 6x'd. So 4 months from now, if it was to 6x again, you're looking at $10,000. Is our user base going to 6x in the next 6 months? Well, they projected we're going to have 1 million users by the end of this year and 3 to 5 by the end of next year. But they also projected that we were going to have 30,000 users by the end of this year. And look where we're at now. It's the first collectible that was ever released. The first ever. When VEVE becomes available to 100 million users or 1 billion users, there will only be 8,000 or less, because people own multiples, of people that can say that they own the Todd McFarlane #1 Batman. I think 10K is conservative. Ask Ray Fixie, though. He thinks the entire app's going to go up, and he's been right every single time. So I definitely think it'll be 10K. ETH whales are going to come in and they're going to realize, hey, I can convert my Ethereum into OMI and then put my OMI on this app, and I have 100 ETH because I sold a bunch of JPEGs and I made $3 million, and I have to use 10 of those ETH to, or maybe not 10, that's a little whatever. Well, no, 10, yeah, that'd be $30,000. So yeah, I have to use 10 of those ETH to do that, and I have 300 ETH. Well, yeah, I'll invest 3% of my holdings into the first ever collectible on what is going to be the biggest app in the world. No doubt. It's an absolute no doubter. Galt, I'll get another secret rare. All I get is secret rare. These drops. What am I going to do with 11 secret rare? Galt, you're funny, man. If you got 11 secret rares, hit me up and teach me your tricks, please, because one ping is not enough. Just plugged into my router. My ping is 6. Nice. That's awesome, man. 6 is a great ping. Like I said, I'm very lucky. I do my drops right next to my router, and I'm getting on Wi-Fi, not even plugged in. I'm getting 4 milliseconds. I have a really good phone. I have really good internet. I'm getting 1 millisecond ping. So just remember, I'm not the only person in the world that has 1 millisecond ping, right? So if you think that 10,000 people all have 1 millisecond ping and you're rocking a 6 millisecond ping, and remember, this is not meant to be discouraging. It's just meant to present you with a perspective. If you have 6 millisecond ping and I have a 1 millisecond ping, I have a 5 millisecond window in which to click that button in order to have it processed before you get a chance to press it once it becomes released. On top of that, and I've done it on computer because you can't really do it on your phone, I've done clicker tests, and I'm averaging like more clicks. I mean, I could even do it right now live and we'll see, but I'm averaging enough clicks that I'm getting that collectible before you even get a chance to get it, which is why I'm saying they'll probably change the way the drops are done, because right now it's not really fair to people like you. I'm obviously happy about it for me selfishly, but I also recognize that for the long-term success of the app, that type of thing might have to change. Gary, good morning. Scored a secret rare this morning. Let's go. Gary, let's go, brother. That's awesome, man. I'm super stoked for you. That's awesome. You're the second person in the chat, or Galt if you count his possibly sarcastic comment, the third person in the chat, which is 10% of the chat that scored secret rares this morning. I'm pulling Randy Chavez numbers right now. Let's go, boys. Let's go. D-Tech, heads up, that mic is too close to your mouth, bro. All right, I'm moving it away. I'm sorry. I'm talking loud because I'm super excited. That's on my bad. Sean says, if you live in Toronto, I heard Beanfield Metro Connect is at least double the speed of Rogers and Bell. There you go, guys. If you live in T dot, that's information from Sean there. I use Bell at my house. I had Rogers originally. For those of you that live in the States, Rogers and Bell are like the equivalent of like AT&T or Verizon for you guys. Yeah. Justin says congrats. Guys, I love seeing other people support people in the chat. That's fantastic. Sean says I didn't even know it was illegal, honestly. You do now, man. So take what you will with that information. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, emulators are not permitted because it obviously gives you an inhuman advantage. So it's not permitted. Galt, the historic even of digital NFT comic books in these 30K drops are a really low mint rate. The first year of NFT comics are priceless. There's no real number. All comics are worth over 1 million. And that's a good point. Like look at especially the 10,000 Avengers drop. Like that's 10,000 comic books. I think that run when they did it was 800,000. So you're holding 1/80th of that total amount. And when we have 10 million people on the app, there will only be able to be one out of every like 10,000 people that own that comic book. So is it valuable? Yes. It's just what is your time horizon for holding it? And just remember that because it makes a big difference. So even equals event. This historic event. It is a historic event for sure. I have the Avengers Kang Secret Rare 6521. What sort of price would you be holding for that? Oh, brother. I think that one's what? That's 40K right now, Callum? Let me check right now for you here quickly. And remember, like whatever price I would hold it for might be different than what price you would hold it for. It depends on your priorities, right? Like if you don't need the money for anything, then you hold that sucker, right? But like if you need that money to pay your bills because it's going to, like, I don't know where you live, right? Like I don't know what your circumstances are. Like that could be 2 years salary for you. So do you sell that at that point because it gives you that, comfort? I would personally, but if you don't need it because you work a 60, 80, 100K a year job and you're just holding it for fun, or you can make it work financially even if you don't make that amount of money, then you hold. There's absolutely no reason to sell that thing. But let's see here. I'm just looking it up right now. Guys, one thing I do have to say, I hate how the comic books are sorted right now. They really need to work on that. It is absolutely brutal. So you said you own the 6521? Cheapest one on the market's 35K right now. And you're looking at 10 up to 50K. So I mean you're kind of in a price consolidation range as far as secret rare comics books go. What I would say is there's only like 300 of them or 250 of them or whatever. I personally, and this is just me, I wouldn't be selling anywhere below 6 figures. Where in the 6 figures you choose to sell, that's your preference, but I'm not selling before 100K. And if no one else sold before 100K, you'd already be at 100K because that thing is so valuable and so rare. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't hold until that level. But like I said, it's all up to your preference. But that's what I would be doing. Vivi Galt says Vivi should not stop printing comics. Vivi should take over comic books. These are safe for the environment and the future. The old comic books will go out of print in a few years. It's true, and the great thing is like you'll be able to actually interact with these comic books. Like you can't interact with you can't interact with Marvel's #1 comic book from 1939 because the people that do own them keep them in a sleeve. They're never going to take them out, right? Like you guys can actually read the actual comic book, and there's only 60,000 of them in the entire world. So remember how rare that's going to be. I have I think between my wife and I, we have 11 of Marvel Comics #1 common. I'm not selling those things. They're going to be worth a minimum of $1,000 in a few years. Like there's no reason to sell them. Sean says, are the collectibles out now able to merge with INFT, or will that be a new collectible they make? That's where I see most of the value, but not sure how it will work. Is INFT a program? I'm not sure that I've heard of that before. I'm not familiar with that. What I will say is once we move over to Immutable, you will be able to do quite a bit with your collectibles. With the collectibles that they allow you to use as interoperable, you'll be able to move them on OpenSea. You'll be able to put them in your MetaMask. You should be able to put them in your Trust Wallet. I think Binance even has an NFT exchange. You might be able to move them onto Binance. Like who knows? So you'll have a ton of different options, but certain collectibles, especially at the beginning, like Marvel as an example, don't expect when we move over to Immutable that you will be able to sell your Marvel comics on OpenSea immediately. I would not expect that to be the case. It's going to take them a little bit longer to warm up to the idea, but I do anticipate that they will. Like, that shouldn't be a concern to anyone. For me, once again, it's not an if, but when. I just want to take a moment for a second because it's been up on my screen forever. Someone like half an hour ago was like, hey, these look awesome. So I just wanted to pull this up. So for those of you that don't know, Vivi put out this tweet. This is the comic book release for Thursday. This is really awesome. So this is the first appearance of Carnage. And it drops obviously normal time, 5 readable. Given that they don't say anything about this exclusive or like super limited edition, I would say expect the same rollout that we saw today: 30,000 editions, 600 ultra rares, and then it works its way up from there. I really dig all of these covers, guys. This is the drop that I'm going to be going hard for. I can't say that I've been buying a lot of comics in the secondary marketplace after that they've been sold. I probably should be, but it's just so hard. Gems are the problem is I'm not selling anything, so I'm not getting any more gems in, and because OMI to NFT isn't a thing yet, and because OMI price is so low, like maybe once we get like OMI to 3 or 5 cents, I might liquidate 1 million OMI, which will give me $30,000 to $50,000, and then I'll start buying up some of these collectibles in the app. But right now, it just wouldn't make sense for me to do it for $5,000 to give up 1 million OMI. So I'm just not buying as much stuff as I should. So if you're in a financial position to do so, some of these comics are going to just hold like a ridiculous amount of value over time. So something to consider. Government will force comic books to be NFT, and that's another thing too, right? Like, who knows? Like we're seeing China and their stance on carbon emissions and their move towards electric vehicles. We're seeing a big push in the United States towards electric vehicles. Like, who knows? Like, once people realize that layer 2 solutions are actually fantastic for the environment, and then ECOMI and VEVE are offsetting any additional carbon footprints with credits, you may see governments or entities saying like, no, we're not going. Like, Marvel could come out and say like, yeah, we're not printing any physical comic books anymore, guys. Like, we're only doing digital, and it's only available on the VV app. Like, that would be massive. We haven't even seen DC comic books yet. Like, you got to figure that they're coming. I mean, if we have Marvel, we already have the DC license. Why wouldn't we have comic books? So like, imagine once that happens, like, we're going to be getting 10 comic book drops a week on top of the normal drops. Like, this is what I'm saying about the price exhaustion. Like, people are just going to run out of money, right? So there'll always be like, if you're on a budget, there'll always be that specific drop for you. So you may not be able to participate in everything, but it is what it is. Aaron, you got me excited. Brother, you should be excited. You hold a 1 of 250 collectible. I mean, we're talking... That's equivalent to Donnie and him rarities, and we're seeing what's happening with them right now. Donnie floors $100,000. So why would you sell your comic book that, in my opinion, will be worth even more than Donnie, because Donnie is a unicorn. No offense to anyone that owns Donnie, because congratulations, you're much better off than me. But you hold a limited print Avengers officially licensed Marvel comic book, 1 of 250 in the world. That will be worth $1 million one day. Are you going to be willing to hold it to that $1 million price tag? That's up to you, brother. But if you are, I mean, you could conceivably, if you held it long enough, you could retire off of that one comic book. It's crazy. Ray, what's up, foo? What's going on, brother? Thanks for playing some Rocket League with me yesterday. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Always good to see your support, man. I really appreciate it. Gold OMI token is looking like a stable coin. I'm going to sell OMI and buy more comic books. Woo! You're going to sell all your OMI, or you're going to sell part of your OMI. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but that's a yikes, brother. I very much see OMI going to 50 cents by absolute latest 2026. So I don't know what you bought in at and what you think your comic books are going to go up to, but unless you're going to get a minimum of 100x return on your comic books, that's a speculative decision, man. And I get anything speculative, right? Like me saying 50 cents, like, it's based on a lot of videos that I've done and research that I've done. And once Dan releases the OMI utility article in the Master Content Program, I'll run more numbers and we'll kind of see what actually makes sense and what doesn't. But that's a decision, man. And if that's what you want to do, hey, I support you. But I'm not selling any OMI at this point. Megalodon, I mean 10 cents by end of year because MTL if around the corner. Yeah, and once again, like end of year, like if you want to talk fiscal government year and it actually resets in April, yeah, I'd see 10 cents. 10 cents by December of 2021. It depends how long they take on this stuff, right? Like if the migration to immutable doesn't get rolled out until mid-November and then we get MTL on December 29th, we're not hitting 10 cents. There's just not enough catalysts. But if all these things get rolled out by end of October, beginning of November, we have enough time. We have that time to run up as people start pulling their money out of other tokens that are more speculative, that aren't going to grow. Yeah, I definitely see that. Sean says, I bought 5 Star Trek Ultra Rares for like 150 each. That's crazy, man. I actually got the Star Trek Ultra Rare on the drop, and I don't know why at the time I just wasn't in the headspace of completing sets at that moment. So I just bought it and held it, and then it wasn't going anywhere. I'm like, oh my god, is this another Ecto 1 situation where I have the complete set and it's worth absolutely nothing? And then VV Vault put out his video of the top 10 underpriced sets, and Star Trek was like number 2 on it. And I was like, oh my god, I can complete this for under like $400. So I went into the marketplace right away, scooped up the rare, uncommon, and common. So now I hold the full set. I only hold the one ultra rare. If you own 5 of them, you're definitely looking at a good ROI moving forward. But for the Master Collector program that's coming out, I want to hold as many sets as possible. It's speculative, but I imagine sets will give you some form of multiplier or bonus for the Master Collector program. So I am prioritizing not necessarily the amount of collectibles I'm holding, but the amount of sets. So if I have like 1 or 2 collectibles that don't complete a set, and I know that it's not realistic that I'll be able to complete the set, I will sell those collectibles to purchase a set that I can complete. And yeah, I may be down 1 or 2 collectibles overall on the total number, but if I'm up 1 more set, I personally believe, and we should find out shortly, that will add more benefit. But it's impossible to know for sure until they release it. Ray, the only stable coin with burns. That's it, man. And that's the other great thing. I don't know if any of you saw Randy Chavez's live stream the other day with, and now his name is eluding me, but I actually reached out to him because I loved hearing him speak, with blah, 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 Henry Pegliuca. He did a live stream with Henry Pegliuca. Mr. Pegs, actually I have Twitter open. Hello. Become a streamer, Foster. You got this. Maybe if I search him like this. So this gentleman right here. So he has over 100 million OMI. And he's got a ton of collectibles. And when I say, so this was the stream that he did. I should like it because I did watch it. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like, so he holds over 100 million OMI. And then he's looking at completing all of the lowest mint comic book sets. So he has 9 complete sets, which don't technically count as sets, but he has all 5 covers. And he has the first edition mint of all of those covers. Like, he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on comic books because he understands the value cost proposition of it. So, yeah, it's incredible. Like, there's definitely a lot of money to be made here. But he was talking about, the reason I bring that up, now that I've gotten scatterbrained, is he talked about the benefits of, even if we were to stay at the market cap that we're at right now, we'll call it $1 billion, or why don't we call it what it is, because people don't like speculation. So we're at 5.2. So we're at, what are we at here? 872 million. We're not even at $1 billion. But let's just say for argument's sake we're at $1 billion. $1 billion market cap. Even if no more money entered the space and no one was really selling, we would still make money because the token burns. So as the token is removed from circulation, the value of each subsequent token is increased. So he was talking about how, people are saying $5, $10 is unrealistic. I know Cavell Anderson's made quite a few videos on a $10 OMI and why he believes it's realistic. I also believe it's realistic. I just think it depends on the time frame you're referring to. He talks about how if we stayed at the same market cap level as the token burns, the value of each token increases. So people that are worried about not having a lot of price movement right now, understand that we're still burning tokens, okay? And burning tokens is absolutely fantastic, and it's what's going to make us a bunch of money. So it's fantastic. Galt, my life is a secret rare. I probably got 3 days to live. Who cares? Who has the secret rare drops? over Onward to Thursday. Oh, God, you don't have 3 days to live, although that is a good movie. Stick with us, brother. You'll get a secret rare. It'll happen. Are we having poutine at the Canadian party? Kurt, the poutine will be there. We actually had an option at our wedding. It's such a Canadian thing. We had like different options that we could have, and one of them was to have a poutine bar. And I'm like, who does that? We didn't end up going with it. We went with like a donut thing. But yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, poutine, for you Americans or anywhere else that's tuning in from anywhere else in the world who don't know what poutine is it's a Canadian thing. You have French fries with gravy and oh my god, cheese. Thank you. Oh my god, I'm losing my words right now. Cheese melted over top of it, and you eat it, and people love it. Sean, my ping is 3. Ping at 3 is absolutely fantastic. That's probably why you're getting these drops, because yeah, that's great. You just need to work on getting your girlfriend an iPhone and not an Android, because she's at a disadvantage right now. Real Radster comic sorting is horrendous. Really surprised. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, right? Like, a lot of people have been saying it's not a content problem. It's a resource problem. They only have so many people that work on the team, and they have to prioritize what's important, right? So do you want them to go in and spend 2 days resorting the comic books, or do you want them to spend 2 days on the immutable migration, right? I think we can all agree we'd rather them spend 2 days on immutable, but right now in the interim, it's just a struggle that hasn't been organized as well as it could be. It will get to that point. We're just not quite at that point yet. Raj, I got all the comics, common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, and secret rare for Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Journey, waiting for Open Sea. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You're looking at least $100,000, if not more, in comics, I think, based on that. That's fantastic. I'm super happy for you. Congratulations. Kyle Welch didn't send me a Go token. Oh, Galt, I got you, brother. After this chat, I'll send it to you. That's not a problem. We still have a couple weeks, so maybe he'll send it to you afterwards. But yeah, you only need like 1 Go token to transfer from your Trust wallet or whatever. So we'll make sure that happens for you. Amplify Me Music. Do you think a majority of the secret rares will go down in value as more comic releases drop? I think they may fluctuate. I don't think the value of the comics themselves will go down. More people will be coming onto the app. I think if we had the same community, like if we were always at 700,000 people and they released 10,000 comic books, well, yeah, there's only so much money to go around. But you have to remember, as more people come into the space and more money comes into the space, there will always be an appeal for a specific type of comic book, whether it be nostalgia, rarity, scarcity, whatever the case may be. No, I would say that comic books, I think the more recent ones, like the Captain America, like the 2018 one, I think the modern ones might not be as popular because you can still go to the store and buy those, but you cannot go to the store right now. I can't just go to my local comic book shop and be like, hey, you got a couple extra copies of the Marvel's #1 from 1939 laying around? Like, no, they don't have it, right? Like, it's worth $1 million. So will the money go down for those comics? No. The legacy comics will continue to be valuable. The modern ones may fluctuate a little bit. But once again, even if your comic book goes from $20,000 to $16,000, if you spent $7 on the comic, you're still making a heck ton of money. Sean, I have at least one of each comic so far, hoping to sell them as a collection one day. I keep it for myself, of course. Wow. Every single comic from every single drop? That includes the secret rares as well? That's fantastic. Congratulations, brother. C-Spell, what comics are you talking about right now? Yeah, I was talking about the Avengers, the Kang. For the 250 editions, because he owns that, and that's incredible. David, hey, love Donnie. Hey, man, I love Donnie too. I'm not bashing Donnie. Also, thanks so much for the 40 likes, guys. I really appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that you guys are all enjoying it. This has been the most engaging stream that I've had so far, and it really just means a lot to me that you guys are willing to have a conversation with me and have an interest in VV and ECOMI and everyone's perspective. And you know, anyone in the chat is more than welcome to contribute, and that's what I love about this type of stuff, right? Is it's interactive and we can have these conversations together. Crypto Neon, Kang is about to be in almost every Marvel Phase 4 movie. You want to be able to look at Marvel without seeing Kang pretty soon. Exactly. And those are the other things that people need to start considering when they consider the value of a specific comic that they have. I sold my secret rare Amazing Spider-Man animated that I got on the drop for $400. It went up to $3,200, and then it went down. Then it went down. We didn't sell it at $32. Didn't sell it at 27. Didn't sell it at 22. It dropped to 16, and my wife was like, we need gems. Like, why didn't you sell it at 32? You're an idiot. And I was like, oh, you're right. What am I doing? So I sold it for $1,600. And now look at what it's worth, right? And that doesn't even include the Spider-Man movie that's coming up this November. Could you imagine when that release comes out, if they coincide or announce that comic book related to, like if they do a series 2, or they just announce that they released that comic book related to Spider-Man, or more people that see Spider-Man that come on the app see this comic book, it's just going to exponentially increase the price value of these. Like, look at the 007 drop that we're going to be doing. Look at the speculation that we have Mario Brothers, and that we may be releasing something from Japan with Mario Brothers. There's so many things that you need to be aware of when you're doing these things. Like, don't just go, hey, I made 5x on my collectible, I'm going to sell it. Well, if you're selling it because you need the money, that's fine. But if you think 5x is a good return in your collectible, understand the catalysts and factors that may drive a higher price point on that. And if there aren't any, and there's not any in the foreseeable future, then yeah, maybe that's a good time to sell. But we know that we're migrating to Immutable. You know that you're going to be able to sell these collectibles on OpenSea, especially the Jermaine Rogers, the Frank Kozics, and all of them. So why are you selling those items right now when you're going to be able to sell them to ETH maxis who have millions? It makes very little sense. So that's something to consider. Sorry, guys, my headset's died again, so I want to make sure that I'm focused on where we're at here. Sean says, I feel you. I've been using my credit card to pay for everything because I hodl all my crypto investments so far. Yeah, that's the danger that's the danger territory, brother. That's where you get into a situation where it's like, yikes, is this something that I really should be doing? I mean, hey, I'm sure it'll pay off for you, but it's never an investment strategy that I would recommend. Kurt, how often do you do these live streams? Love them. Honestly, man, I've just been experimenting with them. If people are enjoying the content and and it's engaging and everyone's having a good time, I'll start doing them more often. But I'm not doing them just for views to do them, right? Like, I'm doing them because there's stuff to talk about. Like, if we have something to talk about, I'd love to jump on and talk about it with everyone. But if there's nothing going on, like Randy Chavez finds something to talk about every single day with people. He's so connected in the community. There's always stuff going on with Earth 2. There's always stuff going on with, like, I don't also need to then jump on and talk about the exact same thing that Randy's talking about, because let's be honest, he's going to get more views than me. He's going to cover all these topics. Who's going to then turn around and say, hey, let's go talk about all those things again with Foster? There's no need for it. But I checked before. The only person that was streaming was VV Vault. Obviously, he's more on the collectible side. I deal with more OMI and price and stuff like that. Saw that no one else was streaming, and I was like, hey, let's hop on. Kyle Martin messaged me, had a question, and I was like, hey, if Kyle has a question, some other people might have a question, hop on, we'll have a conversation. So if you guys would like to see them more often or on a more regular clip, let me know in the comments, and we'll look at putting maybe a schedule or something together, and I'll definitely look at putting an effort into making those things happen. Sean says OMI is a better investment. I agree with you. I only have one set so far. I should have paid more attention to that early on. They are so expensive to complete now. That's the problem, right? Like, it's so speculative. Like you see the comic prices dropping right now because everyone's realizing, oh, you need sets in order for the Master Collector program, or we think you need sets. But then you're going to go over to the Master Collector program, you're going to see that, like, oh, you only need, and this isn't the case, but let's say hypothetically, like, oh, you only need 5 sets, and I have 20 sets. Well, then you're going to sell 15 sets because you want comic books more than you want the collectibles, because they have a higher price point likely in the future. So that's the tough thing, right? It's like, what's the priority? And I hear you. For me, I have 16 sets. I have 16 sets. I have 148 collectibles. So 16 sets and 148 collectibles. So I'm doing all right for myself. I do own quite a few comic books, which count, right? So that is, I mean, I don't own a lot of duplicates of any of the collectibles. I really should have bought some of the duplicates, especially of some of the cheaper things, but I never did. So DSCML. Donuts over poutine any day of the week. I agree, man. And our dinner was absolutely delicious at the wedding, so it's like, and the dessert was really good, so it's just like if you want to just get like absolute fat kid, we have like a local bakery that we got. It's called Mavericks Donuts, and we bought I think we bought enough donuts so that there was enough for one per person, and I think we had 108 people at our wedding, so we bought 108 donuts, and I'm not even exaggerating. I think 24 of them got eaten. because people were so full. Because our wedding was like a 5-course meal with dessert, and people were just so tuckered out. They just didn't have room for the donuts. So we ended up taking like 80 donuts home and just like giving them to friends and stuff. Because like we just gave goodie bags. We're like, we can't eat all these. It's crazy. David Ellis. Why are we talking about Russian leaders? Vladimir Putin. Putin. I better be careful. Someone's gonna hack my computer if I say anything negative about that. We're gonna move on. Sean, you never had a good poutine if you think donuts are better. It's right, but it's all about your preference too, right? Like, what are you in the mood for? What are you talking about, eh? Yeah. Atomic Story, man. The comic story issue is a major pain. Should have been higher on the priority list. I agree with you, but higher than what? Like, I disagree with you in that it should not be higher than the money transmitter license, OMI to NFT, or the move to immutable. So, like, where do you rank it? Like, yeah, I agree. It should be a high priority. And I'm not saying that they're not working on it in the background, but we have millions and millions and millions of dollars sitting in limbo while it's moving over. I want them fully invested and focused on that issue rather than, oh, sorry, it takes me an extra 10 seconds to find the comic that I'm looking for right now. Like, spectrum, right? Like for you, who is maybe someone who looks at flipping comics and buying comics very religiously and consistently, I respect that perspective because for you, it might be a pain. But I'm not in the comic book marketplace sorting through comics 50 times a day. I acknowledged on the stream while I was looking for Aaron, it was a pain to look through. But is it more of a pain than ECOMI contacting me and saying, hey, sorry, we lost all of your collectibles because we didn't migrate them correctly? Or, hey, you're not actually going to be able to move your OMI onto exchanges for another 2 months? Like, no, that to me is a much bigger issue. DSCML, I'm just messing with you. I've never had a good poutine, but I have had a lot of good donuts. I need to go to Canada someday. Brother, I'm going to be hosting a Canada get-together somewhere in the Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto region, which is all like within 4 to 5 hours of one another. We're definitely going to be doing something at some point. I've spoken to Randy Chavez about it. He wants me to do it around 40 to 45 cents. So I'll speak to some of the other content creators, see when these types of parties are going on, and we'll definitely look at hosting, and we'll get you some Canadian hospitality. Bring you around on our mooses. You can visit our igloos and any other stereotype you can think of. Galt, question. I read that ECOMI has a parent company that is actually privately held. Do you think that's true? So, what I will say to that is ECOMI has a partner company called Orbis Blockchain Technologies. This is their parent company, and they work on blockchain. I'll be honest with you, I haven't done a ton of research on them, but it is a subsidiary of ECOMI. You see that Dan Carruthers and David Yu are very involved in the project. Back in 2018, there was an incident with some team members who were not receiving compensation for work that they were doing. As such, there was a lawsuit that was filed against ECOMI and David Yu. A judge in New Zealand froze David's assets. They ended up settling the matter outside of court, and David's assets were unfroze. But the problem is, if you Google ECOMI, that comes up. So, what you will see with some licensors is that the license, when you see it shared in newspapers, is with Orbis Blockchain Technologies. The reason for that is because when you search Orbis Blockchain Technologies, it has no negative press associated with it. So, yes, they have a parent company. I don't know a lot about it in the sense that, like, it exists. But I think what they did is simply create a subsidiary so that they could sign some licenses through it and still have them on VeVe without the negative public headache coming from those issues. So I don't know a ton about it. So you're correct. And I think this might be the parent company you're referring to. If not, then I'm honestly not sure. But if you want to do some more research on it, that is the situation. And yes, it does exist. Obviously, it has the OMI token associated with it. But you can see when you scroll through it, like there's no negative press. It's just a bunch of info on it. Whereas I think if you look up ECOMI, If you scroll down, okay, maybe not, but I think if you type in like ECOMI lawsuit, there's a ton of stuff on Reddit and all of this stuff, like whatever. So yeah, that's the reason I think that you're seeing that. So I hope that helps. Real talk, is this legit? Immutable migration has started. It started, baby. Look at that right there. Look at it. Boom. It's happening. It is happening, and it is excited. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Kurt says, I saw a picture this morning on Twitter of someone's vault, like 15 Donnies. Yeah, I think there's one guy that owned like 30 or 40 at one point, and I think he was like one of the very first people on the app, and then he's just slowly been selling them over time. That's also partially why the price is what it is, because he can just hold it and sell them privately or not sell them at all, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, imagine being that guy, eh? I mean, he's holding $1.5 million just in Donnies right now. It's crazy. Real talk, Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon would be great. We're hoping. It's speculated, not confirmed yet, though. Galt, I would tell the judge that story at the divorce trial. She said to sell. Wow, most wives tell you don't sell. Well, she told me to sell so we get more money to buy more collectibles. So the rationale that we're using right now is we, quote-unquote, needed the $7 from the sale for her to have gems on her account so that she could pull the Secret Rare Spider-Man comic, which actually right now is worth more money. So when you consider it that way, it's actually a better investment. Is it true? No, it's not true, but it helps me sleep at night, so it is what it is. I also told her, because she wanted me to sell the Secret Rare Marvel comic #1 for $6,000, and it's worth like $15 now. So I said, here's the deal. I'm going to hold it, and I'll sell it when it gets to the price point that I think it's going to get to, and then I'll give you $6,000. She wasn't too happy about that one. Ray says, people trading for a quick 2x, some collectibles still got a lot of juice left. Yeah, but I mean, people do it for different reasons, right, Ray? I agree with you. You should diamond hand most collectibles, but if you need the gems and it's your only way of getting money on your account to buy other collectibles, then you take the 2x where you can get it. Sean says, no, I meant I have one of each comic, not the rarity. Sorry, most are commons. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, dude, you're a big baller here. You're sitting on a couple $100,000 in comics. You got a big credit card limit, my guy. But no, that makes sense. Gall, I can see that as something I showed it. You told me to sell my comic for $1,600. I'll be honest with you, we've definitely gotten some disagreements about it. I've made some bad sales. She's coaxed me into making some bad sales. It's not ideal. I definitely agree with you. There is, but you're never. Here's the thing: you're never going to be able to be the one that's. There's always going to be one person that sells at the top. You're never going to be that guy, right? Like, let's be honest. So, if you're going to make money on a collectible, and I mean like a decent, like when I sold my Secret Rare Spider-Man, like yeah, it sucks that it's worth what it is now. I still made $1,200. So like. It's not like, oh my god, it's not like I sold it for a loss, right? So, but yeah, I definitely agree, like, you shouldn't, and Ray says it perfectly, don't sell for breadcrumbs, right? Like, unless you have to pay your bills, don't do it. DSCML, my wife, who has a basic level understanding of this stuff, always tells me to hold on to my collectibles. She was always pissed that I didn't know who Givenchy was and buy all his NFTs. I'm the same way, man. Like, the Pride poster had double the editions of the Amelia and Cleo, and I knew nothing, and I was just like, well... this was my train of thought. Amelia will be worth more than Pride because Amelia has less editions. That's the only thing that went through my head, and it was crazy. Like, we see what's happening with Cleo and Amelia now too. But I mean, look at Pride. Like, that thing is just going to absolutely explode. And it was my own ignorance and lack of research that caused it, which is why, to this day, I still spend several hours a day on Twitter and socials doing research, finding information, because you can never know too much about a project that you're invested in. And I'm never going to get to a point where I'm complacent and feel like I know everything. Everyone can present a perspective and give insight and information. And a lot of you guys in the chat right now have been as well. Like, you have great insight and perspective. A lot of you seem to have a pretty good head on your shoulders about your collecting and what you want to do with it. And yeah, it's crazy. David says Foster live streams should be limited edition. Today feels like rare. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not something that I'm ever going to do. And once again, no shot on Randy Chavez. I love it. I tune into a lot of his streams, but I'm never going to be. I mean, he's retired. The guy literally made so much off of investing already that he's already retired, and now he's got 106 million owe me. Like, the guy's gonna be a billionaire one day. Like, he does not need to work or doing like I was going to say unfortunately that would have got me in trouble. I am very grateful to have a wife and a child and a job. So I just don't have the time to stream all the time. But I'm off today. The wife's at work, the kids at daycare. So I love being able to interact with the community. It's just a ton of fun. So. Galt, my wife laughed at my Bitcoin crypto conversation when we first met. Now she is talking about opening a crypto mining warehouse. I taught her a lesson. I sold her chilies. Nice, Galt. It's funny. My wife, she sends a lot of voice notes. I guess there's a feature on iPhone you can voice note your friends. It's kind of like being on a phone call. I don't know why she doesn't just get on a phone call because they're just literally voice noting her friends back and forth. But she's like, she'll be talking to her friends and like, yeah, Foster, sold this NFT for this today, and we're looking to, when it migrates over to the blockchain. And it's just such a sense of pride that like she's embraced it and that she understands the terminology and that she's interested in it as well. I think maybe at some point I'll look at getting her on a live stream. I think she'll bring in a wider range audience because she's a stone cold cutie. And on top of that, it's just fun to be able to share different perspectives. So, yeah. Yo says, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Galt, crypto for life. Man, how did I not find crypto back in 2011? Do any of you guys think that? Like, Bitcoin was worth $1. Like, how did none of us know about this? Like, what were we doing? And that's what people are going to be saying in 3 to 5 years when a lot of people in this community are retired, or at very least have a nice nest egg. Like what were we doing before we heard about ECOMI and VEVE? But we heard about it, and we're those guys. And I mean, look at the guys. Like, I've done a couple whale interviews on my channel. Like guys that have hundreds of millions of OMI that invested back in 2018 and have still been holding. Like, you'd think that we have it bad, struggling for 6 months. Guys have been struggling for years, waiting to see this blow up. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Gary says, need to do a Vancouver meetup too. I would love to do that, Gary. Shamefully, I have to admit I've never been further west in Canada than like Toronto area. I'm sure you can relate, Gary, but it's just so darn expensive to travel within Canada. The flight prices are just an absolute travesty, and it's tough. So, but I'm gonna have OMI money now, boys, and VEVE money, so I got no excuses. DSCML says, Foster, I learned so much from you. The fact that you don't have 10,000 subscribers is mind-boggling. You are by far the most thorough and detailed, fact-oriented OMI content provider out there. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you saying that. I have to disagree with you. I'm glad you appreciate the content I put out. I would say that there's a lot of content creators that do a ton for the community. I would say Cavell, although me and him have had our moments, does a ton for the community with the amount of research and content that he puts out. He may not go about it from a factual basis in that, hey, this is equal to X, so Y will result in Z. But he'll find a lot of these nuggets, and a lot of us can touch on it and benefit from it. We have a bunch of people on the VEVE side that do a fantastic job. Daniel Lead does great content. Poor Man Printing. Taps Trades, who has 10,000 subscribers, and rightfully so, is an absolute beast in the space. Non-Fungible Wonderful, Niall Ballantyne, and so many more, who I apologize if I'm forgetting you. There's so many great content creators, and I really do appreciate that you feel as though this content is valuable to you, and that's the reason that I made the channel in the first place. Like, I didn't care if I had 10 subscribers, 1 subscriber, 100, 1,000, a million. Like, I make this because I'm interested in the project, and I love talking about it with people. My wife got tired of hearing about it, so what was the best way to go about it? Talk about it with people online. So I really do appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to pin it because I really do appreciate that. That means a lot to me, so thank you. I don't have the atomic to accept donations. My channel's not big enough for that, so that to me means more than any amount of money ever could. So thank you so much, man. Atomic, you position the comic issue as a false dilemma. Properly displaying and sorting the products should have been a higher priority along the path towards launching comic NFTs. Well, yeah, I mean, I think everything that they've done up until this point should have been a higher priority before they launched the project in NFTs. Once again, I think the issue more so stems from the fact that they anticipated having 30,000 users, which would have given the team the resources available to focus on these issues that you're referring to. versus having so many users and now needing to constantly pivot to appease a bunch of people that do nothing but complain rather than understand the reason why we're at the levels that we're at now. And once again, I'm not lumping you into that category. I'm not saying that you're a complainer. I'm just saying that displaying a comic might have been something that was simply overlooked because you only have so many people beta testing the project, and they may not have had that as feedback. And then you get it as feedback, but then you also get, hey, there's bots that are completely ruining the opportunity to buy a collectible in the first place. Well, that takes priority over reorganizing the App Store. Hey, we're looking to migrate over to a different blockchain. Okay, that takes more priority than reorganizing the App Store. Like things that are breaking the app in the sense of like makes it unusable are a priority over, hey, this isn't as user-friendly as it could be, right? Like, they're two different issues. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a high priority. Like, you mistake me on that. I do believe it should be a priority that they should get around to, but unless they have more resources available to them, which they should, then there's no way that they're going to get that done. But yes, I agree. They should have had all their ducks in a row when it came to launching comic NFTs, but other issues that came up as delays along the way through May, June, July got in their way, and they were always planning on releasing comic NFTs probably this month. So you finish as much of the product as you can, and then you release it, and then you kind of pivot along the way. Is it the best strategy? No. Could it have been executed better? Yes. But we're here now, and we just need to make the best of it. Adam Williams, yeah, buddy, history. History in the making. Sean says, I will research Orbis blockchain. Research is what I do. All right, brother. Get back to me on your findings. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it. Anonymous Crypto says, hi, sir. Would you sell today's secret rare for 5k gems? No, I would not. I think it's already listed at a floor of almost 5k gems. If I owned it personally, given that it is a classic comic from 1964, I believe, and it has Stan Lee and Steve Ditko as writing and drawing credits on it, I wouldn't be selling it until you hit 5 figures at minimum. At absolute minimum. If you need the money, that's a different story, right? Then you sell your collectible. It is what it is. But no, I would not be selling that. Gary says Pride 8K baby. That's crazy, and it's holding. I feel like relatively it's holding, and that's the crazy thing. And now you're gonna see less people will start buying Pride. More people will buy Cleo and Amelia to bump it up, and then once that happens, you'll see Pride explode again, especially as we start to migrate over to Mutable as well. Galt says, just to note, you really improved your YouTube. This is the best one yet. You're an actual YouTuber. Thank you so much, man. Honestly, I feel like live streams are easier to interact with the community than it is putting a video together. I feel like when you're putting a video together, you're very cognizant of every single word that you say. You're like, oh, this could be nitpicked. I need to make sure I say this a certain way. You slow down your inflection. You kind of you sound like you're talking down to people, which is not the intention. Like when I slow down because I'm explaining a concept, it's because I'm processing the concept and then explaining it to people, right? It's not like having a normal conversation. I'm making sure that what I'm saying is easy, it's digestible, it's understandable. So I slow down a little bit, and people, I've received comments sometimes like, oh, I hate his inflection. Like, he makes me feel like I'm a child. Like, I'm not trying to explain things to you like you're a child, but also understand that if you have a question or you're not sure about something, there might be other people that are in the chat right now that don't feel comfortable having that question or making a statement. And that question that you've asked and me making sure that I take the time to explain it might benefit them in their investment and VV journey. So that's why I take the time, and that's why you see like a lot of these comments. I'll take my time to answer each of them. It's not like, oh yeah, okay, cool, next thing. Oh, next thing is like if you guys have a valid concern, you're gonna take or a question, and you're gonna take the time to be here with me right now out of your day, then the least that I can do is return that favor by having the time and making sure that I'm giving you the most correct and up-to-date information. So thank you so much, Galt. I really appreciate that as well. Sean says, can you show the people what an INFT is so they can see the value to it? I mean, I could definitely look it up, but once again, like, I don't know anything about it. So, I mean, I don't, yeah, like, I haven't done any research on it, right? So, it very well have value. So, create, buy, sell, and discover unique digital goods. So, is it basically just like OpenSea? Like, is that basically all that it is, or what is it? Why is everything in Chinese? Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna have time to look into that right now, man. I will look into it afterwards for you, but I'd be dedicating way too much time to do it right now. Unfortunately, I know nothing about it, right? So I'd just be speaking completely out of turn about it. Galt says, first time I heard about Bitcoin, it reminded me of Lyndon on Second Life. I thought it was interesting that you could buy pizza and the government crash is brutal. Yeah, man. Like I didn't hear about Bitcoin for a long time. Like I probably didn't know about Bitcoin until 2019 or 2020. And when I say I didn't know about Bitcoin, also thank you so much for the 50 likes, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I didn't know about it. Like I knew it existed. I knew it was a concept, but I didn't know anything about it, right? Like I didn't know enough about it that it made a difference to me about anything, right? Like I didn't know that hey, investing in this would be a really good idea. Like no, I didn't have anyone in my ear that was in the space that knew that, and I so wish that they did, because I would be in an absolute unparalleled place right now. I would be some of these Omi whales that we all look up to for sure. So and being able to buy, could you imagine spending 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza? Oh, I always wondered about that. Like what happened to that Bitcoin? Like did that person hold it or did they sell it? Like I always wondered. Like it's very interesting. David Ellis says, Foster, are you familiar with Gods and Chains? Seems to have very several parallels to VV, and it has me very concerned. You see, what is your concern about it? The similarity. So here's what I'll say. So I do know a bit about Gods Unchained. But what is your concern about it? Like so. It's a trading card game, and they have great graphics, and there is gameplay, and I mean this is a great point. Like yes, I know about it, but I mean it's a trading card game on layer 2 for Immutable. It has nothing to do with premium digital licenses. It has I would say and not to say that you need to be worried about this, but if you want to talk about being worried about something, like Quid is an example, which came out as a FUD piece a few months back. Like they have 350 licenses, including Pokemon, Disney. They have all these licenses, but the difference is they do not have the license to produce 3D premium digital collectibles on the blockchain, right? They produce 2D stickers and trading cards. So Gods Unchained produces trading cards, and if you go on OpenSea, you can buy stuff on Gods Unchained, right? Like you can buy cards with ETH, and like it's a marketplace. Also, for the record, guys, what's this? That's right, we got VV, baby. We got VV. They need to they need to replace the stock photo. That's a little embarrassing. But these are all things that are minted on Immutable X right now, just so everyone knows. So like all of these could be competition, if you want to say that in relation to VV. But I wouldn't say Gods Unchained, which is essentially a trading card game where you collect cards and use it to compete, is at all even close to the amount of competition for VV. Like VV's in a market of its own. They're 3 to 4 years ahead of anyone else in the space. But let me know what your concerns are, and we can definitely talk about them. Sean says use social analytics software. It's faster to scan for info. Oh, okay, interesting. Crypto Neon, I can't imagine how it must have felt investing in Omi before the app even released. Dude, that's crazy. And on, I can actually pull it up right now because I still have it open as a link. On the ECOMI wiki, which Omi the Clown made, if you had chose to invest just $10,000 into the Omi token 8 months ago, today your investment would be worth a staggering $1.7 million. Guys, in January, if you had invested, you'd have $1.7 million. Now, in a year from now, when we're all sitting here and the price is at whatever, 3, 5, 10, 25, 50 cents, people are going to say, oh, imagine we had got in at the 0.004 level. How crazy would that be? So remember, guys, it's perspective. We're not as early as we would have liked to have been, but we're sure as heck not late. Let's see here. Oh my god, there's so many comments. I need to start speeding up the way that I answer you guys. You guys are crazy, man. You're blowing up the chat. Ho! Galt says the reality is Bitcoin still has not implemented. That's why I see Bitcoin going to. Bitcoin is still not implemented. That's why I see Bitcoin going to 10K. ETH is easy to drop, like sub 1,000. When you say implemented, what do you refer to? So Bitcoin is essentially just a store of value, right? Like that's its main utility case. It's going to take over probably gold in the next 10 years as the digital store of value. I could see it hitting a $10 trillion market cap. And Ethereum will be the actual coin that dominates the space because it has so many practical use cases. Obviously, Cardano is going to be another big one. Yeah, sorry, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. But Kurt, Foster, don't watch a video called Russian Boy and His Crypto unless you want to have a good laugh. I'm going to look that up off stream, Kurt, because I feel like you're going to get me in trouble. You're a troublemaker. I will watch it, though. I will definitely watch it, but I don't know. Galt says ECOMI can take it all over, but we need a real team and we need 100,000 employees working hard. We don't have it at ECOMI. So I see it as VV app will be all there ever here. For now, things can change. I mean, 100,000 employees is a lot of employees. There's a lot of Fortune 500 companies that don't even have a tenth of that. So do we need that many employees? I mean, we definitely need more than 30, but I don't think we need 100,000. And I mean, counterpoint, just a perspective, right? Like, we don't need 100,000 employees because what we have every time that we do a Marvel drop, we have the Marvel design team, we have the Marvel legal team, we have Marvel support, right? So when we do the Pokemon drop, we'll have the Pokemon company support eventually when Pokemon's announced. When we do MGM, we have, all the artists and stuff that worked on James Bond. Like yes, we have a core group of people, but you have to remember that a lot of this stuff, and it happens even in movies and stuff, like a lot of these things are contracted or subcontracted out. So because of that, you don't need 100,000 employees on your payroll. You need contractors that are good at what they do to focus on those issues. So I don't fully agree with you. I think that they do need more employees. I don't think they need 100,000. I don't think they all need to work for ECOMI, but I do think that they're going to become an absolute beast in the space. So Sean says, I had Bitcoin when it was $1. I seen a report saying it was going to be worth 100K one day. They used to give away Bitcoin for free, LOL. I think the PC with Bitcoin ended up in garbage. Ugh. Sean, every word that comes out of your mouth is just heartbreak, brother. I don't know how you do it. Galt says, Foster, I think you can put out an ECOMI and VEVE collectibles investment. Also, you should get a financial advisor license, be the first to go. I am a financial advisor. You should put out a magazine or something, research papers on VEVE investments. Yeah, man, that'd be fun. Like, I don't know how that would work, but I do plan on releasing some more, because obviously this is a live stream. I do plan on releasing some more videos on my channel related to, my collectibles and my journey. I think maybe once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll do a video talking about... how I collected my OMI, what my investment strategy was, and what my take profit level is, and everything else. So I definitely think that I'll do those things. But yeah, it'd be fun to do something like that. Like if that's something that you guys want to see, I definitely consider it and be willing to do it. So Atomic says, thank you for your perspective. I appreciate your content and the depth of thought you put in this. Honestly, Atomic, thanks for not being a moon boy. Like, and I'm not saying anyone else in the chat is. Like, I love everyone's perspective and input, but I love that you feel comfortable in saying, like, hey, I don't agree with this, or, oh, I think this needs to happen differently. And I'm never going to sit here and tell you, no, everything is perfect, you're wrong. I agree with you. It is an issue, and it does need to be addressed. There's no two ways about it. I just think we're coming from it from different perspectives of what the priority list is. But I would like to see that get addressed because it is an issue for people. And like I said, it's an issue for me. So no, thank you for sharing your thoughts. I appreciate it. Thomas Brown Jr., have you seen how DraftKings does their drops? I wonder if you will go to that so it won't matter on the speed of your phone. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are doing drops differently when it comes to a lottery system or something in that regard. So I do see them doing something like that in the future. I think it will have to happen as we start to onboard more users. we're going to lose retention from the user base if people always get beaten out because people have better internet connection than them. So we will eventually see something like that, and I will imagine with the release of the VeVeverse, we will start to see things like that. So yes, I would anticipate that at some point for sure. Galt says, my government said that's the exchange that collapsed and Bitcoin crashed. That's why, like, okay. That's the exchange that collapsed. Oh, it was a type of exchange. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about Bitcoin and its cycles historically. Like, I wasn't involved in kind of the whole crypto space until earlier this year, but definitely a possibility. DSCML says, why don't you think the price of OMI is rising based on today's news and what the Immutable project is underway? 2, what do you think about the comics on Terra Virtua? I bought the boys and think money, money, money. DSCML, what I'll say to that is we've known that the move to Immutable is happening. And I think a lot of people that are invested in the space right now understand that OMI is not just a hype token that's going to go up based on FOMO. Like that will be an aspect of it, but it's not a Dogecoin, it's not a Shiba Inu, it's not a SafeMoon. Like, it has actual utility, right? So it's only going to go up when it has the utility in place to do it. I think when Dan Carruthers releases the Master Collector Program and OMI utility articles at the end of the week, you will see a pump related to that. But I think the price level that we're at currently is already priced in to the move to Immutable. And remember that we're still a month out from it actually being completed. So FOMOing into it now isn't going to accomplish anything because we're not actually getting anywhere until it's fully completed. I haven't actually looked at TVK. I've heard of it, and I've heard that it's a decent project. They have King Kong and a couple other things. And I think it's awesome that there's other projects in the space that are looking to expand and grow. I think that it's officially licensed intellectual property, and any officially licensed IP has room to make money. I don't see Terra Virtua getting the user base that VeVe has, though. I don't see it going as mainstream. I do still see it being successful, though, and I don't think there's anything wrong with diversifying your investment. Kurt, do you already know what you're going to do with your VeVeverse land? Well, if I can get land, I will try and get as many pieces of land as I can. If I have to sell some OMI to get some land, I will, because the cost benefit to getting land is going to be absolutely. If I get land on a drop, what that land is going to be worth, especially because it's limited edition, is going to be ridiculous. It's just going to be dumb. So if I can get more than one plot of land, I'll probably hold. Like, let's say hypothetically I get 2 plots of land, or let's say I get 1 plot of land, 2 plots of land, 3 plots of land. 1 plot of land, I hold it and I use it for whatever. I'm not selling that thing because it's going to be worth so much money one day. It's going to be ridiculous. If I get 2 plots of land, I probably see what they're going for and then maybe sell one eventually. And then keep the other one. If I get 3 or more plots of land, I'm intermittently selling those plots of land to make a bunch of money, or holding them for my daughter and whatever future children I have so that they have a nest egg. I'm also looking at acquiring some collectibles for them so that they'll have it. And, on my daughter's 16th birthday, I can give her a VeVe account or collectibles or whatever and say, here are some sets with collectibles. They're worth, $500,000 and you do whatever you want with them. And so I think that will be really cool. What are you planning to do with your land, Kurt? Real Radster, is anyone else surprised they released Marvel before the migration? Misstep, free advertising. Token would have mooned if anyone knew how to purchase. App would have been better off as well. Yeah, I see that perspective, but at the same time, like, we're at the will of the licensors, right? Like, we do what they want us to do. So yes, I agree with you. It might have made more sense to do that, but at the same time, if the licensor wants something released at a specific time because it lines up better for them, then we do what we do. And you also forget that it's not like Marvel's not going to continue to pump out any of this information. If anything, you should be grateful that it wasn't announced beforehand, because now you got into the token cheaper and you got the comics with less eyes before it migrates over. Because some of these comics, once we migrate over, are going to be infinitely harder to get. So there's 2 sides to every story. I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't know that it's necessarily a misstep, because we're still going to get that advertising, and the comics that you currently own are still going to skyrocket in value. So yeah, it could go either way. Galt, you would have never bought Bitcoin. It wasn't much to buy. Most people lost the wallet keys info. It was very new and hard to understand how the key worked. Yeah, Exactly, you're right. Like you would have never known to bought it, but maybe even at the beginning of the 2017 hype cycle, like I would have been 25 or whatever. Like why didn't I know about it then, right? Like that would have been smart. And my brother, who's 10 years younger than me, he's 15. He would have been in high school. Like no one was talking about it in his school either, or he never mentioned it to me. And he's in game development right now, so he has an interest in technology. So I feel like we would have heard about that kind of stuff otherwise, but yeah, no, it's a good thought. Yeah, you're right. You never would have thought to buy it. And similarly to Omi in 6 months or a year, people are going to say, hey, never would have thought to buy it. So we own it and we should be very grateful for it. Frank J says, any tips on trying to get the collectibles? I tried getting the comic drop today and had no luck. Fingers were hurting. I got a bunch of tips, Frank, but what I would say is on top of the tips that I'll give you, go check out VV Vault, the VV Vault on YouTube, or the Comic Book Way, Dozer or VV Vault. They're both great, and they give out tons of tips when it comes to being able to get the collectible. What I will say is first and foremost, check your internet connection, see what kind of ping you're getting and whether you're getting a good ping. My ping, I ran it earlier for the stream. I'm at about 1 millisecond, which is incredible. If you're getting like a 40 or 50 millisecond ping, that's part of the reason you're not getting the collectible, because so many more people are sending their order to the server before yours. And then on top of that, deleting your cache files on your phone of any collectibles that you do have downloaded. You can just re-download them afterwards, but that generally helps with people being able to get collectibles. And yeah, that would be my major tips. And then, like I said, VV or the Comic Book Way would be good as well. Sean says, no, that's not it. Was that in relation to Terra Virtua? Or, I'm not really sure, Sean, unfortunately, sorry. Or it looks like you made another comment. I'll read it in a second. Galt says, the only way to buy Bitcoin back then was on PayPal, and it was kind of a scam. Most people bought like $99 for fun. Again, though, it crashed, and most people lost it all on my government exchange. Yeah, you're right. And that's the interesting thing, is like how much Bitcoin is sitting on wallets that's actually lost forever. Like, I don't think that's a number we'll ever know. Migrating from layer 1 to layer 2 is incomplete. Is that on Immutable right now? The process just started today. It's going to take about a month, so I wouldn't expect it to be done today, if that's what you're referring to. Sean says, it will make VV collectibles come to life on VVverse. That's how I see an INFT anyways. INFT is self-learning AI linked to an NFT. Whoa, that's intense, man. Huh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into that. That's interesting. Galt says, I got a good investment in Immutable X token. I want to buy a lot of those right now. Let's talk about buying Immutable X tokens. I want a lot of them ASAP. So Immutable X tokens were not available for anyone in like Canada, US, China, Australia. A lot of places didn't have them available for the crowd sale that was originally available. So no, I don't know a lot about the Immutable token itself. It's never something that I try to buy in. I think they were offering it at like $10 or $15. I think I'll buy it once it ends up on exchanges. Maybe I'll invest in a little bit in it because I see it being successful. But yeah, I don't know enough about it to kind of talk about it openly. But if you want to buy some, definitely look into it. Crypto Neon, I wasn't willing to use the exchange they were released on. That makes sense. Sean says, Gods Unchanged is made by a Magic the Gathering lead person. Oh, okay. Or maybe that was Splinterlands. Okay. David Ellis, IMS token not yet available on exchanges. Pre-release was CoinList only. Okay, that might have been it, yeah. And they released it on CoinList, and like there were so many countries that you couldn't get it on. I don't like that. It's like, hey, it's not available to you. It's like it becomes like an elitist thing, or you get an advantage because one person gets it over the other. And I don't subscribe to stuff like that. I don't like that personally. Kryptonian says, check Immutable Twitter. I think the sale is over, but now they'll probably release the next sale on Twitter probably. Yeah, I think they did like 750,000 people or something that were able to buy it. I think they raised $12 million or something. I mean, they're obviously doing well, and I'm super happy for them, but yeah. So Adam Williams says, Go tokens needed for swap. Depends where your tokens are. If they're sitting on an exchange right now, no. It should happen automatically. If you have them on Trust Wallet, yes, you will need Go tokens. You should only need like 1 or 2 of them, and there are a bunch of people in the community who will give you tokens for free because it's only like 1 or 2 tokens. And there's tons of people. I even had a couple people in the chat earlier who were willing to give out their tokens to people. So if you do need some, just put it in the chat, and someone might be willing to help you out there. Real Radster, I love when everyone says ask your financial advisor. My buddy's a financial advisor and I have to school him on NFTs and crypto investing. Yeah, there are no such thing as financial advisors when it comes to crypto at this point. They're so few and far between. It's such a new space and it's still so speculative that I would say that you know, even though they say that they're not, the YouTubers and content creators are really the financial advisors because they're the ones that are digging into this project, like deep dive into the project, and they end up being the ones that find the information that help assist you in your decisions. Although at the end of the day, you should always do your own research. And obviously anything that any of us do say isn't financial advice. But at the same time, they're the ones that are doing all the DD and getting all of the information. So yeah, no, I hear you on that. It is funny. Crypto Neon, this may sound random, but I'm pretty excited to see the Chinese New Year, Year of Tiger NFT they release, if any, in February. I love a Gold Dragon style tiger. Yeah, that'd be dope, man. And that's the thing. They can release so many collectibles that coincide with so many different events or items. It's literally unlimited. Like it's crazy. Especially Artist Alley. Once we start to see like one of ones or like very low mint items that are going to start to sell for a ton of OMI from the ETH maxis that come over. Guys, we're going to be burning OMI like crazy. Atomic Z06 says, speaking of DraftKings, Tiger Woods dropping now, 3 p.m. Oh man, someone should definitely go get that up. I'll be definitely too late by this point. I'm not reading it until 6 after, but yeah, that's amazing. Gooseneck says, I hope we don't get ripped off by Ethereum when we switch to Immutable. It'll depend how you do the transition, Goose. So if you leave it on the exchange or you send it to your VV app, I don't anticipate there being any fees really, because it's done automatically on the back end, and the exchange will eat the cost of that. The only time that you're going to be incurring fees is if you're sending it to the token swap site. And even then, it's not going to be like thousands of dollars like it is to mint a collectible. It'll be like I've used Shiba Swap before. I think it'll cost maybe $20, $30, which I mean still sucks, but it's not going to be earth shattering for most people, I don't think. Galt says, well, I'm on Immutable right now. So pretty. I need to get these IMX token. There's a game you can play to get them. Yeah, IMX is, I think they do like an airdrop and there's a game associated with it. Yeah, there's definitely some cool stuff. Sorry, guys. I got like a hair in my mouth here. It's very distracting. David Ellis says to Galt, every time you try to... he's letting him know about the autocorrect. Real Radster just bought a Lightning to RJ45 Ethernet LAN network adapter with charge port. Hopefully it works with the new iPhone 13. Nice, man. That'll help you with your latency and ping. That should help you with drops. That's awesome. Anyways, it was so boring in 2011. Trust me, this is the time now. It's not about all those years. It's about now. It's the time. Trust me, this is the time. This is 2009. Just keep buying and learning. I feel you, man, and I do agree with you. We are still, for anyone that is upset because you didn't get into OMI until now, you are still extremely early. Remember that when I bought OMI, it was 0.008 when I first started. So, yeah, no, everyone should download this Immutable X on laptops. So cool looking. Yeah, man. I mean, if anyone's interested, I'm sure they'll look into it. But I'm all VV, all OMI. DSCML, how many OpenSea users are there? It seems like there are more VV users than OpenSea users, so I wonder how high the prices of comics and NFTs will really go because of OpenSea. I've heard that there's about 300,000 users on OpenSea, so yes, there is twice the amount of users or accounts on VV than there is on OpenSea. OpenSea will very much take a backseat to ECOMI and VEVE as the VV app becomes mainstream. OpenSea, when you can use OMI to NFT, which means you convert your Ethereum into OMI and then buy it on OpenSea, it will be... it won't matter at all. It won't matter at all. Not a chance. Wait, so our VV wallet will connect to this website. Interesting. I like the app Immutable. The website is a bit bare. Interesting, though, kind of an eBay. Yeah, exactly, Galt. That's exactly it. Kurt, if I get to land in the VV city, I should maybe have a nightclub there where people can party after the drops. That'd be dope, man. That would actually be sick. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would very much attend those social functions with you. That's awesome, man. Chat says, which offline wallet is best to store OMI? I mean, that's your preference, brother. So I know some people put it on like a Ledger Nano X and completely remove it from the marketplace or from the exchanges entirely, from your computer. It's a cold wallet. It's not connected to any network. So there's that as a possibility. And I would recommend that as well. But at the same time, if you're not looking to put it on an exchange and just leave it on exchange, but you want the security of taking it off somewhere, Trust Wallet is good. MetaMask is good. Those are the two that I've heard of and are familiar with. I have actually put my OMI previously onto Trust Wallet and never had any issues with it. My OMI is currently on an exchange right now, but I would say that you are safe to do that. But really, obviously, it's your money. Do your own research. You want to make sure that you are putting it somewhere where you feel secure and safe with it. So if you don't mind forking out the money, ECOMI will eventually have their secure wallet back in stock, and you'll be able to store your OMI tokens directly on the secure wallet. So there's that possibility. But really, like I said, it's just up to your preference. Yeah, it's up to your preference, guys. So, Kurt said, what's the one brand you absolutely love to see on VV? I have to limit it to one, eh, Kurt? I would say that the brand that I'm looking forward to the most is the one that is going to give the most engagement for collectors, and that is going to bring on the biggest user base. So what that is, I don't know. I would obviously, it's kind of a cop-out answer. I would absolutely love to see Pokemon on the app. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. I think that it will come on the app eventually. I have no doubt that it will. But how long will it take for Pokemon to come on? I don't know. I think we'll see Yu-Gi-Oh! Before we see Pokemon. And I think we'll see maybe Super Mario Brothers. And some other things that come before. But at the same time, it's exciting. What's the one brand that you're looking forward and that you're hoping will come? But yeah, I think for me, it feels like somewhat of a cop-out answer, but I would say Pokemon. I mean, we know what Pokemon did when Pokemon Go came out, that there is just no way. Like you want to talk about price predictions of $10 and whatever, like, you get Pokemon Go, that is when you're getting your 10K price prediction. Like, that, there's absolutely no doubt. Like, or 10K, $10 price prediction. Like, that is what's happening. Like, definitely. Galt says Dow Jones dives on Janet Yellen warning stocks sell off as bond yields rise. Yeah, I mean, stocks are going to fluctuate. Crypto's going to fluctuate. I always love seeing the memes of people that we'll see the crypto market down, 40%, and everyone's just laughing. They're like, who cares that it's down 40%? And then the stock market's down 2%, and everyone's losing their minds. So it's an interesting situation for sure. Yeah, I'm curious, guys, in the chat, put some of your price predictions. Where do you guys think OMI's going to be at the end of the year? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Shaq says Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh. That's it, man. Like, how could you not want to see either of those things? Like, people are sleeping on the Asian market. Like, even the Ultraman, this is not financial advice, but if you don't own anything Ultraman on the app right now, what are you doing? Like, we're literally going to blast off. When we start getting marketed to the Asian markets, when Ito drops, it's going to be nuts. Galt, you're right. Good. October markets left to crash. Real Ratster, have you looked at Monster Infinite? I did. Hello K's done a bunch of videos on it. I did look at buying some of their tokens. I saw that they had some issues with one person who was alleged to manipulate the price, and it dropped down a bunch, and there's a bunch of FUD associated with it. From my understanding, just based on nothing but Hello K's research, who's a very smart guy in the community, he seems to believe that it's going to be a good investment. I may throw some money in it just for the lulz. I have a leverage position open with Omi Omi right now on 5x. That's up about $3,000 to $4,000. And once I sorry boys, let me avenge teammate here. Oh, I'm not avenging teammate. So once I do some more research on it, I may put some money into it once I get the money from the leverage position. So we'll see about that. Gooseneck says, could ECOMI allow other NFTs to be sold on VeVe and become a rival to OpenSea? 100%. Once they're on the Ethereum blockchain, they could allow in Artist Alley, they could allow other NFTs that are minted on the Ethereum blockchain to come onto theirs. Absolutely no problem with that, right? Like, as long as it's not a conflict with IP. If someone is selling their own collectible and there's no like IP legal rights associated with it, you can 100% see that. And that's why VeVe, the marketplace, everyone's like, oh, we need OpenSea, we need OpenSea. No, OpenSea needs VeVe at the end of the day, because OpenSea is about to become a relic within 6 months of... Oh, that was close. It's not crypto to me without a crash. I love crashes. That's the best time to buy, for sure, man. Kurt says, when we get Yu-Gi-Oh, they definitely need to gamify it and let us duel each other and have monster cards actually come out of the cards. Dude, we already know that gamification is going to be coming. At first, it's going to be light gamification, but we know that gamification is coming. Absolutely no doubt. And you have to remember, like, we already know that we have the Street Fighter license. What's going to happen when we see Street Fighter as a form of gamification and you can battle each other in the streets? What happens when we see Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and all these interactive games? It's coming. There's absolutely no doubt. Atomic says Star Wars would be a game-changing brand once it appears, right? I mean, so many of these brands, like MGM with 007 is a game-changing brand. Star Wars is a game-changing brand. There's absolutely no doubt that all of these are going to be game-changing. And it was interesting that a couple of the articles that were released related to the 007 referenced that we have the Star Wars license. I mean, Marvel owns Star Wars, so there's absolutely no doubt that we probably do. But once again, until it's confirmed by ECOMI, we don't know for sure. But I would agree that it is a game-changing brand. Absolutely no doubt. And I will be buying the you-know-what out of all those collectibles. Goal, haha, will be fun to hear your stream when the OMI token and Bitcoin and everything crashes so much. It always crashes. Hey man, if it crashes, I'll still be here talking about how it's a good investment in my opinion. I mean, it's relative, right? I'm in for 3 to 5 years. If it drops down to the 2s again, whatever. Like, I'm not losing sleep over it. Like, I'm still loading up on collectibles. I'm still doing all that. Like, no stress on me. DSCML says 1 cent by end of year. Yeah, I'd say all-time highs is a very conservative amount to get back to. I would agree with that. Kurt says same man, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, also Naruto, Dragon Ball, and other animes. I mean, we know that we have an entire anime category coming. We know it's coming. So, I mean, how could you doubt that all of those brands aren't coming? Like, if those brands are going to release anything anywhere, they're going to release it on VeVe. Why wouldn't you? And we've seen it time and time again. People, oh, why would Marvel release on VeVe? It makes absolutely no sense when they could release on whatever. Like, well, because of everything that's coming. Like, it's exciting times for sure. Atomic, OMI end of year 0.0075, my guess. I mean, it's definitely possible. There's no doubt that it could be that level. It could even be lower, but I mean, what's your comfort level? Like, what are you happy with? If it went to 0.007, would you be happy about that? Galt says, nice, where did you leverage OMI? I think Ascendex sent me that in an email. And OMI's short position makes sense on futures contracts. It's a nice hedge. I mean, I guess it depends how much you're hedging, right? Like, you could very easily lose all your money very quickly with one announcement and get liquidated. So I have it on Ascendex right now. My dollar cost average is 0.0037 and my liquidation price is about 0.003. And like I said, I'm up like $2,300 and I've done it more than once. So I think my entire account is up $4,000 or $5,000 since I started doing leverage trading. And I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. You can lose all of your money very quickly. So you kind of need to understand the catalyst and what's going on in the market. But I'm happy with my position right now. Crypto Neon says, bro, I forgot about Street Fighter. And remember that Monster Hunter creature they showed us as well? I think I remember David saying that was animated. Dude, there's so many things. We haven't even seen Jurassic Park yet. Jurassic Park was supposed to come in season 1. There's so many things that are coming that have been announced and so many that are coming that haven't been announced. Like, how could you not be excited about this project? It just makes absolutely no sense to me. Galt says, you say that now, you will run away if it crashes, leaving everyone's crypto sooner or later. Me, I just kick back. I love crypto. I mean, hey man, if that's your opinion, that's fine. I mean, I've said it publicly several times that I'm not going anywhere and I'm in this for the long term. If you think that I'm in the position with the amount of followers I have and with the amount of crypto I own to manipulate the market, I guess that's fine. That's your opinion. I'm not going anywhere, but yeah. I guess it is what it is, right? But Shaq says Minecraft already has some aspects of NFT integration, but I don't know if there are official Minecraft NFT characters. A VV Minecraft character seems easy to make, great cross promotion. I agree, and you see a lot of these games. You see Rocket League do it. You see Fortnite do it. You see Call of Duty do it. You see all these things that come up with skins that are licensed by different IP. I mean, there's no reason why VV couldn't license some of these IP as limited edition collectibles. There's absolutely no reason for it. I 100% agree with you, Shaq. Galt says when David runs away with all of our NFTs, we got to catch him at a casino, and he's like, I gambled it all the way, man. I mean, with the amount of money that the OMI NFTs or the VV NFTs are worth right now, he'd be gambling at a pretty high roller table if he was going to do that. But that's the great thing about blockchain, right? Is you can see everyone that owns it, and there should be no questions about who owns it. So. Crypto Neon says, if we don't break 1 cent by end of year, I'd be disappointed. I'm hoping for around 3 cents. I mean, I'm hopeful too, man. Like, I'm hopeful minimum 2 to 5 cents by the end of the year. But I also recognize that if we don't hit those, you know, you have to reflect on what the reasons were behind why we didn't hit those levels, and then what can be changed in order to continue to grow and improve upon it. So, I agree with you, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Gooseneck, if VV has Star Wars, it's game over much bigger than Pokemon. Interesting. Oops. Ignore my pings. Yeah. What one can hope, but I don't know. You think Star Wars is bigger than Pokemon? That's interesting. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to hear the thought process behind that, but I would love to see 0.007 by end of year on the long term, and it's a little yeah, man, 100%. If you're making money, then that's the. I mean, I don't know how you could be unhappy with making money, right?
Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy marked.
Okay, he dropped. That's fine. Ryan Carter says Immutable X is not the true game changer, and I think we get a small bump from the release. The true catalyst is going to be the VVverse. I disagree with that a little bit, just because you have to remember that Immutable X in and of itself is just Immutable X, right? But when you consider the fact that Immutable X leads to us being on the Ethereum network, which leads people being able to buy with OMI to NFT, which leads to exchange listings like Coinbase, Binance, KuCoin, Kraken, like that alone is huge, right? So yes, just Immutable doesn't do a lot, but what does Immutable do from being on Immutable is what we need to consider. So yeah, that's what I'd say. But yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. You might be right. We'll see. Court says, after seeing the Fortnite X Balenciaga ad in Times Square, can't wait till VV does the same thing. Dude, VV, you're going to see VV in Times Square. No question. Monday Night Football is going to be promoting VV. Marvel's going to be promoting VV in the movie theaters. James Bond's going to be promoting. Like, Star Trek, Star Wars is going to be promoting. There's going to be so much mainstream adoption from all of these IPs that have been around for 50, 100 years. You're 100% right. It's a no-brainer. Galt says Ethereum was $100 2 Marches ago. $100 actually, I think it traded to 70 or something. That's only one year and a half. Yeah, but remember, like when you're talking about a price, like you have to understand the market cap, right? Like $100, like for Omi to hit $100 is almost impossible, right? So like, but that doesn't mean you can't make a ton of money off of Omi. You just need to understand why it is that is a specific price. Shaq says Star Wars sort of fell off. Those new movies weren't the greatest. Pokemon had a boom in 2016 and recently with the trading card. Yeah, I think Logan Paul had a lot to do with the boom that we saw from Pokemon, and I do agree with you. It's been massive, and it will continue to grow to be even more massive. It's very exciting, and I think a lot of the collectibles that they're going to bring onto the app are going to surprise us and are going to continue to make us more money. So, yeah. Shaq, don't get me wrong, I'm still a fan of Star Wars, but those movies, oh boy. Hey man, I hear you. I hear you. I don't even think I've watched the most recent Star Wars movie. Yeah, I 100% feel you on that. So, Elon Musk reclaims top spot as world's richest person. Nice. Good for him. Yeah, I thought that happened recently. I didn't realize he had lost it, but good for him. This game sucks. The only way to get above 1 to 1.5 to 2 cents is to release Pokemon. We need a huge catalyst, which is the reason I think it was a mistake to have already released Marvel integration, MTL, Coinbase, not enough. I mean, I'm with you. If you don't believe in the token, then I guess, yeah. But I respectfully disagree with that. I don't think at all that we don't hit more than 1.5 to 2 cents with all of those catalysts. I think the MTL alone and Omi to NFT and being able to buy land in the VVverse could burn 10% of the circulating supply of the token. So to say that we're not going to hit more than 1.5 to 2 cents, like I don't agree with that personally. But hey, I respect your opinion. That's fine. Galt, Omi can hit $100 if supply is down enough. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it can hit $100. Will it hit $100? I mean, a lot of catalysts would have to happen, but it is possible. It definitely is possible. We'll see. Only time will tell. Do you think VV will give out exclusives to DesignerCon? Was the kind of thing you would pay off for the chip eventually? I definitely think that it's possible that they'll give out some form of exclusive NFT. I don't know if they'll give it out for free, but maybe they'll make it exclusive so that you can purchase it yourself, that no one else can purchase. I could definitely see that being a possibility. Of course it will continue to go up, but not in 2 months' time. I mean, watch my video on the Master Collector program that I released. It's not the release that they're doing anymore, but the Master Collector went from, Dogecoin went from 7 cents to 72 cents with a very similar market cap. So I disagree on that. I think it could go up a lot more than that, and it could go up in a very short period of time.
Explosive charge. Good to go.
Okay.
Enemy sentry gun active.
Flashbang going out.
This fucking thing.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
No! I killed the full team, and this guy pushed me with dead silence. That's tragic. Chad Calm Soil, autographed football cards will be huge NFT moneymakers. NFL's trying to figure out what they want to do regarding NFT though. Yeah, I mean, I personally think that that VV has the license with the
You're up next, mate. Get ready.
I personally think that they have the license with the NFLPA.
Soldier.
Um,
And you return to the front.
so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they.
You're up, soldier.
Ooh, that was clean.
So much.
That was clean. Let's go, chat. I definitely think that we'll see signed, released cards. I mean, obviously we know that on DraftKings, like there's some NFL players that are releasing their own merchandise and whatever, so that is a thing. But oh no, teammate down.
Slot the bastard.
But yeah, it will be very interesting. If you like Moss, then you will like Floki Inu. Floki Inu made me some solid money so far. Oh god.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Fuck you, ghosted.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Elon also broke up with Grimes, so now he's the world's wealthiest bachelor. That's true. In 2 months. Yeah. Dogecoin went from 7 cents to 72 cents. Or 3 cents. 3 cents to 72 cents with a similar token circulating supply in 30 days. So it's definitely possible. Oh. How much Ethereum will I get from my NFT? Yeah, that's the great question. Is how much Ethereum will you get for for your collectibles? That's the thing. For age. Hey man, sometimes you just gotta get it out, right? Galt says Immutable is an ETH, so we can trade comic book and collectibles for ETH soon. Yes, so any items that will be able to be listed on the Immutable X store or on OpenSea, you will be able to purchase with Ethereum. So I think it will actually be listed in Ethereum. It won't be USDT or OMI or anything like that. It'll be listed in Ethereum. And then if someone buys it off of you, the way that the smart contract works is that a percentage of it will get sent to ECOMI for licensor fees and whatever, and then you will receive the rest of it directly into your Ethereum wallet on Immutable. And then you can decide whether you want to convert that Ethereum to fiat, if you want to buy more NFTs with that Ethereum, or if you want to sell it for another crypto. Galt, so I can buy directly with MetaMask VV NFT on the marketplace on Immutable. So I think this will make the prices so much higher. Wonder if I can arbitrage on marketplace VV. Yeah, there is a possibility that you will be able to arbitrage. For those of you that don't know what arbitrage is, it's when you purchase something in one place and then sell it somewhere else where it's being listed higher, but it's an identical item in both cases. So that's what arbitrage is. I do think that it will be possible in the interim, but I don't know that it will be for long. And I do agree with you, Galt. You will be able to sell your collectibles for much higher once you move over to OpenSea, which is why I tell everyone, like, if you need to sell your collectible now, sell it now. But you're going to get more for it in 2 weeks, so don't do it unless you need to. VV should sell Go tokens for gems. Yeah, I mean, they run on the network, but it's not a token that they sell. I feel you, though. Rare Grime Beat says, are the X-Men commons undervalued? Let's go take a look.
You're done swarming up. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
What are they listed for right now? The X-Men Commons undervalued. $38? I mean, what is another comic going for? Tales of Suspense is going for 25. Journey into Mystery is going for 20. So I mean, it's twice as much as both of those comics. So is it undervalued? I guess it depends how much interest you think how much the comic will have. But I would say that they're listed double of some of the other comics. So, oh no, I jumped. Hills maybe. Here. I'm sorry, boys. Yeah, I jumped. I jumped. I'm sorry. Boys, I'm streaming here, alright? This is a balance. Yeah. Oh, no. This isn't good. So yeah. So to answer your question, no, I don't think they're necessarily undervalued. Will they go up in value? Yes. Yes, they will. Oh, I'm out in this ocean by myself right now.
Surviving earns them redeployment. Your teammates done in. They're returning to base. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh no. Sorry guys, I'm finessing right now. Give me 1 sec here. I will get back to the chat momentarily. If Destiny 2 made all of their in-games item NFTs, we'd have a Ready Player One already. That's a good point. I'd love to see the VeVeverse turn into something similar if they start to release armor and clothing in the avatars. I think that they will. Uh-oh. Why was I disconnected? No! I was finessing! Oh, my goodness gracious. That's terrible. I'd love to see the VeVeverse turn into something. Yeah, for sure. Floki Inu has a partnership with Elon Musk's brother, Million Garden Movement. Don't doubt it, LOL. Plus, it's a reflection token, and those are amazing. Man, every token is a reflection token. No offense. Like, I'm not knocking it. I honestly don't know anything about it, but, like, I mean, every token's a reflection token. Right? Like, realistically, at the end of the day, like, that's, like, Safe Moon, Shiba, Safe Mars, Safe Vegas, Safe Pluto, all the like every token gives you rewards for holding and selling for other tokens. Like that's just facts. Like it is what it is, right? So to say that this one has something going for it that others don't, I mean, it's definitely possible. I'd have to